bottle worth?
Lots of money. Give me an appraise check, Nero. Why don't you give me one of
Shouldn't
those?
Boris be doing that?
Anybody who wants to look at it can make an appraise
Going to
check.
bait.
Make it. I'm sorry to say, make it secret. I forgot to tell you.
I rolled a 20, you son of a bitch!
Okay, fine. Then you know. Then you know.
No, I'm kidding. It's fine.
Oh, did you? No, you really rolled a 20 though. You can have it. I'm not doing that, especially in the early in the game.
I'm not that guy. I don't care.
Because appraise is interesting. The reason I asked him to do it secret for those who haven't played the game before is if you roll poorly with an appraise check, you don't know that you roll poorly. You just think the object is worth something that it's not, more or less than it is. So
you're like the guy on Pawn Stars.
yeah, that's a 2 gold earn tops, $2 bill all day. Yeah. So let's see. Yeah, so Nero and Bob El Zouv have made one. You also want to make one, Mr.
Bob El Zouv doesn't even know we have it.
Mr. Zouv, huh? And he made it publicly because he's a little piece of crap. But anybody else who wants to roll can roll secretly.
How do I roll secretly?
You have to click on yourself, and on the skills tab, way at the bottom, there's like a gray eyeball, and you click on that, and then the next roll you do will be done secretly.
Michael Mosky, I want you to understand that I did catch the you are the one. I like it a lot. Well done, sir.
Alright. And let's see. Let me find out what it is actually worth.
Oh, no. If you haven't planned your bachelor party yet, just go to Montreal.
Is Montreal amazing?
Yeah. I mean, if you're into... Yeah. if you're into the things that are legal in Montreal that aren't in the United States,
are we talking about the ballet?
We are indeed talking about
ballet.
That's legal in the States. You just can't sell booze and have the ballet.
Yeah, man, ballet, poutine, and booze.
Poutine?
Holy.
Strip clubs have the best poutine, I hear, yes.
May 25th, I might be going to Vegas because I've got a friend who is a degenerate gambler.
That's equally debaucherous from what I've heard.
Yes. You haven't been to Vegas before?
No.
Oh, dog.
I've heard.
Let's do a nerd vacation to Vegas. Shit.
I kind of want to do a Will Peters tour of Vegas.
No, you don't.
Will Peters owes me a trip to Vegas. We have an agreement.
Nero,
Are we just...
you believe... Sorry to interrupt, but you believe the urn to be worth 1,500 gold, and Vors believes it to be more like 2,500 gold.
Okay. So let's split the difference and assume it's worth about 2,000 gold, but I don't want to... If we don't have to use it once and smash it, I'd prefer not to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think planting the stopper serves the same purpose without like giving away the valuable item.
Well, but without the stopper, how much is the urn is worth nothing. The urn, can you identify? Nero would obviously play with the thing. Would you be able to I mean, obviously the stopper goes with the thing, but is it identifiable as part of a magic item?
Could you make a knowledge check, Mr. Nero?
Sure.
The Needlies told you a little about it when they gave it to you, when they were trying to explain its value because they owed you money. But Nero...
We got like 10
Hmm?
times the value. Like 2 slaves is like maybe.
But they were
200.
very specific slaves they were offering 200 gold apiece for. You never figured out why, and you didn't really care.
Right.
And they're gone now. Yeah, so, let's see. Nero doesn't know a whole lot about Nadal. Neither does Vors. But Iwin, you rolled extraordinarily well, I suppose. And you are aware that the design on it is distinctly Needlese, and it's distinctly for these kind of cursed items. Like if you look at the picture actually on the Google group, you can see that there's actually like a bunch of figures in a torturous melee on the bottom. So if it was found after a torturous melee was had, it would be immediately investigated, you would assume. And its connection to Nadal would be unmistakable.
So is that a problem for us now?
Explain.
Well, we've been associating with Needlese.
We've also been busy doing other things, at which time Zane could have been meeting with Needlese.
True.
And, yeah.
They could have been spies sent to, scope us out. Or he could have been using them in that way.
I'm just contemplating what ifs.
Yeah.
Anything else, guys? Who remembers where we left off? Who wants to pick us up from the last scene you guys remember?
I remember most of the thing, but I never remember where we start.
I also didn't remember where we started, which is why I didn't specifically.
We ended with the meeting with Oppian, where Vors was able to get him to doubt Zane.
That's correct. Yeah, that was actually a really interesting scene. You remember what happened? You guys had just come back from the forest. I think you were meeting with the rebels out there and stuff, and Iwan tortured one of the sergeants, playing around with his skeleton a little bit before just ripping his soul out in front of Bob El-Zub. A trick he knows how to do now. And then you guys came back. Yeah, sorry.
Oh, did you RP that? Like on?
Yeah,
that
it's
actually...
on the site. Yeah.
Yeah, that was on Google
Okay.
Plus. Yeah, that was a pretty cool one. Roberto
Oh wow, there's like totally missed all of that.
I think you were otherwise busy, so
Indeed.
Yeah, so you guys got back to the Little Uskwood, and it was fairly late at night. It wasn't super late or anything like that, but past dinner time for sure. And Loredana let you know that Oppian had come back by the Little Uskwood again and was looking for the party, specifically for Nero, and just said that he wanted to talk strategy and defenses for the town as soon as possible. And you guys sought him out immediately. You didn't even wait till the next day. You went to find him, and he was there. I forgot where you found him exactly. Probably around his office or something like that. And you had a quick little meeting with him, a little powwow. Nero was there and Vors was there. We didn't really roleplay the whole thing out, but I think everybody was there except for Bob, right? Yeah.
I was there, yeah.
Yeah.
Correct. All right, and implicitly now, Nero has gotten a little peek inside the strategic mind of the defenses of the town. Vors asked some questions today, and he got a couple answers about patrols and stuff like that. And you have a pretty good sense of how things are moving in the town now and how things are being arranged specifically for this Oath Day market event. So is there anything else you wanted to do with him before he left? Is there anything else you want to say you role-played or anything like that?
No, we just gave him. We gave him a hard time at the Uskwood, and Nero was specifically playing on the fact that he has a thing for Loredana by being a little too friendly with Loredana.
That's true. That's true. And she wasn't rebuking your touches at all, which was angering him immensely.
So it wasn't too friendly.
That's true. But he's very restrained and didn't say anything. You could tell he was very flustered in his face, already having been flustered from the goings on in town the past couple of days. And he's just not taking it well. So that's it. So Bob, out there in the forest, again, I don't want to ignore you for a while, so let's make sure you do something at least in the beginning. Are you planning to do anything tomorrow? First off, did the party tell you there was an Oath Day market tomorrow?
The party had not decided that.
Okay. My second
Good.
question is, if he was in town for more than a week, he would probably know himself anyway. So
Right.
I'm gonna go ahead and assume he knows. I'm gonna not screw him that hard. So you know tomorrow is probably a big day in town. Do you plan to do anything?
I'm gonna start arming my men who were unarmed.
Yes. Yeah, I've already done that. They are armed now. If you
Then-
look over there at the loyalists, the ones that have big strong men on them are loyal to you. The ones with the horses on them are loyal to the Hell Knight, Zara. And she has more
Right.
than you, because she's been doing better at talking to them. But you have 3 that you've terrified into your service.
I would like to have my 3 terrified men terrify the 7 and 10 and 4 loyalists.
Yeah, so you want to have your guys actively go threaten the other ones?
No, I want them to go. Well, I don't care how they do it. I just want them to make them loyal to me.
Okay, they're gonna try to talk them into it. Let's say 2 of them talk and one of them tries to intimidate. So here are the talky ones. Number 1 does fairly well. Number 2 does not sell you very much, and the intimidating one does fairly well. So yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and give you 2 of them. I'm gonna mark 2 of them as on your side, having been recruited by your minions.
Excellent.
These are yours now. But yeah, there you go. So as the rest of the party leaves, you're still suspicious of Rima. So nothing came of it, and your party members sort of investigated and talked to her a bit, but you still have this sneaking suspicion, and you can't
Nero,
shake it.
Nero did say that she's clean.
Nero did say that, and I think someone detected evil. Oh, sorry, you detected good on her, and she is not good. So you don't think she's like a Glorious Reclamation spy, or if she is, she's at least powerful enough to hide herself, or just not good enough.
Or
to show
too
up on
weak to
radar.
be noticed.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. So any of those things could be true, but you can't shake it. So my question to you is now: how closely are you following her?
Like on what scale? Very closely.
Very closely. Is it like your top priority in camp now, or what is it in your scale of things to do?
Yeah, I would say that's probably up there.
Okay.
I've got a bigger army than Sarah, so yeah.
Yeah. So what do you instruct your troops to be doing? So I guess the recruitment is what was happening today. So yeah. So you told your troops like, hey, those other guys that looks like they haven't picked a side yet, go over there and try to talk them into joining Team Bob El Zub over here. So that they went off and did that, and you started creeping on the chef. And you studied her all day. You studied her for night went down, and the next morning started happening, and you've been following her now for almost a day and a half. And you notice she still isn't eating anything, even when she prepares the food. You're certain this time, and you've never seen her go to the bathroom.
Zombies don't poop.
She's very demure.
What would you like to do about that?
I'm going to take her cooking privileges away and give it to Loyalist 7.
How are you taking her cooking privileges away?
I'm gonna say, hey Rima, you're not cooking anymore.
He turns to you and says, "Oh, really? Why is that?"
I'd like Mr. Loyalist 7 to get some experience in the kitchen.
And she looks at him and says, "What experience does he have in the kitchen so far?
That's exactly why we're gonna put him in there.
Does he know how to stretch rations?"
Absolutely.
And she
Isn't
looks
that
at him
right,
and says,
Mr. Lord?
Do you?
Boozlebob stares at him intensely.
He nods, says, "Yes, yes, ma'am." And Rima looks at him just curiously, and she's going to try to sense motives on him. Let's try that. Sense motives. That's pretty good. I'll just grab one of my lists. He's bluffing. He's scared. He's bluffing. Yeah, so she thinks he's lying. Like this man hasn't cooked a day in his life. I'm sure of it. Like why do you want him to be a cook? What's wrong with me? Why can't I cook?
The men are getting tired of your food.
She's getting louder now, and she says, "I don't understand it. What's your problem with me? You and the others that came here today. What's your problem with me?"
There is no problem.
And Zara is also coming over now. Curious what's going on over here. And Rima looks at Zara and says, this guy's trying to tell me I can't cook anymore. And Zara looks at you, curiously.
I just suggested that Mr. Loyalist 7 should have some experience in the kitchen.
And Rima says if he wants to help around, that's fine, but he specifically said I shouldn't be cooking anymore.
That is not what I said.
Is that not what you said? I think it is what you said. As the GM, I'm saying that. Am I wrong, is what I'm asking.
No, whatever. All right, fine. All right, fine. We'll roll.
No, he's
Are you
not
lying
asking
or are you
because,
telling the truth? Because I'm asking.
Yeah. He's not asking because he's correcting you. He's asking because, are you lying or are you telling
lying
the truth?
to the
Did you say
Hell
that?
Knight?
No.
And what are you saying to the Hell Knight?
Wait, what?
What are you saying to the Hell Knight? Rima says that you said that she shouldn't be cooking anymore. What are you saying to the Hell Knight, and is it a lie?
I'm saying that she should not be cooking. Yeah, and no, it's not a lie.
Okay, so you did say that you should say that. Okay, so and then Zara says, why do you think she shouldn't be cooking?
Well, I've never seen her eat her own food.
And Rima again says, I never sit down for a meal. As I told you again, I told you this earlier today. I just sample the food as I'm cooking it.
I have been watching her for the past day, and she has not.
And you are not lying. And Zara's looking at both of you, and she believes both of you are not lying. And she said, I don't know what the problem here is, but I see no reason why she shouldn't be cooking. And she says, if you want your soldier to help or whatever, if you want Loyalist 7 to help, that's fine. He can help around in the kitchen. I keep saying kitchen, but it's really like, a big hot pan in the middle of a forest. You can help out, preparing the meals. But I see no, unless you can tell me some reason why she shouldn't be cooking, I see no reason to stop her.
All right, I'll take your word for it.
Okay, so are you leaving Loyalist 7 to cook in the kitchen?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to put him as deputy chef. Okay, and he'll hang out next to the other lady.
His rap name D Chef.
All right. Oh, and this reclamation sergeant prisoner is dead, so I can hit the dead button. All right. All right. Back to the other people at the, the little Uskwood. So you guys have talked to Oppian, and you've said your piece, and it's the Oath Day market is tomorrow. Do you plan to do anything else tonight, or do you have any more planning you'd like to talk about?
I don't know how tired you all wanted to be. Did we want to try and move them tonight, or do we want to wait until tomorrow? From what Oppian said, that brigade isn't due back for a little while yet, so we've got a little bit of time if we don't want to move them tonight.
You're talking about like the loyalists and stuff?
Yeah. I think I've narrowed it down to where they ought to be.
Do we still have the sergeant's headdress? Or something to identify those?
Nero went to great lengths to de-identify them. If he had let you take a headdress, though, it makes sense you would have taken one. Unless Nero tried to stop you saying, hey, we don't want to be caught with this shit. So would you have done that, Nero?
I would not have probably paid that close of attention. You probably would have focused mostly on the bodies.
There you go. Then you have one.
Then, I think I kind of like the idea of having the loyalists come down and at least engage the perimeter of the town. Not directly. Just make a quick hit and then get out and have them yell for Cheliax for Zane while wearing some of the like the headdresses or some of the armor of that like scouting party that
It's a little heavy-handed, don't you think? For Zane?
I guess we don't need to. That was Iwan's idea.
For Zane seems heavy-handed. I'm not opposed to them skirmishing or raiding someplace for food during the Oath Day market.
Mm-hmm.
And Nero basically, he takes things that are on the table, salt and pepper shakers, that sort of thing, sort of does a makeshift town, and he says, the Oath Day market is here. If they were to say, hit over here, there should be food in that granary that they can get to pretty easily.
Do we want to have them hit the medical stores at the south?
Very deep in town, probably pretty well guarded. You were going to guard things, probably you would guard your healing magic pretty well.
Mm.
Not saying that it's a bad idea, I'm just saying that it's a little more...
I think it would deal a psychological blow as well, because if word got out that the town wouldn't be able to recover from an attack and heal like their men and their people, then they'll be much worried about like, what's going to happen.
Well, we know about their defenses. No, can we get a little info on like whether or not that's going to work?
Whether or not what specifically is going to work.
Like how well guarded is the medical stores at the? Can you load the town map so we can all like?
Yes, I can.
Because the stores are down near like what 12?
Yeah, 12. It's the most southern edge of town. It's basically these are towers on the edges of town.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
Appian has said that of all the things in town, you said like what are important to guard. I think Nero was talking to him, role playing it on last session, and he said that the southern sword tower has a lot of the town's alchemical healing supplies and scrolls and things like that. They have stockpiled in the southern sword tower. I'm not sure he ever specifically would tell you what's. Let me see what's on guard there. If he would explain exactly what he would tell you was there. Sword tower. He mostly told you about patrols. He was telling you on like the timing of patrols, and specifically that he is bolstered them by basically cutting this number of patrols not in half by like 20%, and using them to add different troops back into other patrols to beef them up. They think the patrols aren't so much not that they're in enough. They're not. He believes that it's not the problem is not that they're not in enough places, it's just that they're not being attentive enough, so he's assigning a sergeant to each one of them to kind of keep the squires in line and stuff like that. So they're redoubling their efforts, but they have fewer patrols as a result. Specifically about the sword towers, he never told you what was guarding them, but you would assume at the very least squires, sergeants, and probably the sixth sword knights. The sixth sword knights. Blah.
So it'd be a matchup, Could certainly raid a granary or steal some of the food from another end of town. But if you think,
if we made the Oath Day market event bad enough to draw reinforcements from all over the town, then
Certainly.
I mean, that's true, but that's still probably the last place that they pull from. It's also pretty far away. So,
yeah, it's like 1,000 feet. So it'd take them in armor, like what? Assuming they're running.
Couple minutes.
Yeah. I mean, we got Plotty there, so he's out on the town.
what is Plotty doing?
I don't know. He was just on the map.
Oh,
Hmm. That got me thinking though. We could use Plotty to unstop with the urn, right?
He is a hand.
yeah. I mean, he could. I had been thinking about that. Yeah, he could.
Just a thought.
Yeah.
Joe, do you have a legend for this? So that
I don't, because I'm the worst GM in the world. Do you have a specific question?
what do the numbers mean?
Damn all of those questions. Do you have a specific number that you are curious about, and I can tell you more? But 12 are sword towers. 13 is Valor's Fastness, which is a big fortress where the Iomedean knights stay mostly. Number 9 is Narcopolis Banner, which is
That's where
yeah. Good.
who stays in Arcopolis? That's the
Zane.
where Oppian is? Oh, Zane does, okay.
Yeah, Oppian stays in Valor's Fastness. Zane took over the manor and is using it for his arcane research and stores all of the heretical items he has seized there. 11, I think, is the Last Drops Tavern. This is all from memory.
Yep.
What's number 1? I don't remember what number. Oh, that's the Groat Smithy, I think, right?
Yeah.
The Ruins of the Smithy.
Oh, right, yeah.
And where else are we? Come on, where's the stupid thing? Where's this legend? Okay, I'm actually in the legend now. Here we go. Number 1 is Groat Smithy. 2 is the Harbor. That was obvious. 3, Healthy Heart Alchemicals. That's where Linton works, the alchemist. 4 is Inheritor Square. That's where the market takes place. 5 is Iomede's home, where Boozle Bob smashed Pious Pete's head into the wall with a flail because he was trying to swindle you out of some silver. Number 6 is the bookstore that Nero frequents. Number 7 is the Labor Guild, which is run by a dwarf named Durgal Murkask. And he basically, the recent dock fees that a lot of the town didn't like is basically going directly to that enterprise to give jobs to freed slaves. Number 8 is the Little Uskwood. Number 9 is the manor, like I said. 10 is the Shrine of the Hammer, which is a temple to Torag. It was previously a temple of Asmodeus, but it was rededicated by a lady known as Kelsira the Just, who was out of town securing mining contracts with mines in the north for ore. That's it. That's all of them. That's all the numbers. Huzzah!
Well, if I could instruct Brexter to aid the raid on the medical stores. That may even the fight a bit. It'll also help to make it seem like that was the same group that took down Hardship's Hearth. It would explain why Hardships was razed to the ground with fire. Or at least by whom.
Brexter, when you make the fire into elementals, can they speak?
Yes, they speak, and he's speaking in Ignan. He says they speak like me.
Can you make them say something in common?
I don't think they can. Let me check for you. But he says I can translate. I'll check what they can. No.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
so
fair.
I can translate, he says.
No, that's okay. I was just thinking of eventualities.
He shakes his head. He doesn't know what you're talking about. He doesn't know what the word eventualities means.
I figured.
Brexter, don't mind those big words. He means well.
Brixer nods, and he starts playing with little flames in his hands.
I mean, we're going to have the Hell Knight down there. We're going to have El Zub down there, too. I mean, it's going to be like a fairly strong force if we really want to do damage. I think it's...
That's fine. And if you want to send...
Send? What?
If you want to send a Brexter with them, he could certainly be support.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
So is that the plan? Who's going to the market?
Nero.
Nero's going? Is anybody else going with Nero?
Yeah, I mean, Iwan is going because she's going to have to plant the urn.
Okay. And Voice is also going? Okay. And Bob, are you and Zara and the Loyalists going to go to the Sword Tower? With Brexter?
Yeah.
Alright. Alright. It sounds like a fun plan. Okay. So, you guys are... Bob, your night already happened. You've been creeping around the chef for a while at this point. The rest of the party, though, your night passes. You're planning a lot of these things during the night at the Little Luskwood, getting ready for the big day tomorrow. What's up, boys?
We need to get word to the raiding party. So.
I was going to hand wave that some of that happened back there, but however you want to.
Okay.
Sure, that's fine.
Well,
they know they're coming, and they can expect support in the form of Brexter, I suppose.
Okay.
That's all fine, yeah.
Okay.
So Loredana has made you dinner, and she's served it to you while you guys were planning, and she's mostly just stayed out of your hair, but she's always been present in the main room. She's, unless you've shooed her away, she hasn't been shy about listening to you overthrowing the regime. Want to say or do anything with Loredana, or are you guys good to go to sleep?
Just ask her if she has any suggestions or feedback based on what she's heard.
She shakes her head and she says, "It seems like you guys are doing a good job. From what Oppians told me, things aren't going very well, and they're losing control of the town rapidly. And I think public opinion is starting to sway your way as well. I don't think the faithful Iomedeans are ruling the town if all this chaos is around them. I don't think it's the people aren't having it." She looks at Nero and she says, "The Needlese, are they gone? They took everything from their rooms."
They're gone.
And, she nods and says, "Pity, I missed the little taste of home."
Well, from what I understand at the end, you would have been soon missing, payment for your services here. So,
she laughed. She says, "I was wondering how long they'd be good for it."
so we got them sorted out. Should be fine. They'll probably be back in contact soon.
Mm-hmm.
She nods. She says, I'd love to have them again. They were perfect guests."
Hey, Muskie. So, a screaming bolt.
Yeah.
This +2 bolt screams when fired, forcing all enemies of the shooter within 20 feet of the path of the bolt to make a successful DC 14 will save or become shaken for 1 round.
Yeah.
This is a mind-affecting fear effect.
Correct.
So it's 20 feet for the area of effect. What is the actual audible range?
It says within 20 feet of the path of the bolt. So I guess you just draw a straight line between you and it, and 20 feet in directions like like a cone, basically.
Right,
Or
but
two-
sound doesn't stop after it stops being loud. I guess is what I would.
You're saying like how would people hear it? Yeah, people would hear it from
Yeah.
far away. It's a screaming bolt. It does scream. Yes.
Yeah.
And it would have a Doppler effect, I guess, too. So people might be able to figure out where it was coming from based on the sound, too.
Right.
If they were
Okay.
smart.
Imagine a bottle rocket. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Correct. All right.
Okay. I would have given one of these bolts to Zara.
Okay. She has a crossbow. She would like to.
She does indeed have a crossbow.
I'm pretty sure I remember that being true, right?
Oh.
Pew, pew. Yeah, so she can shoot a screaming bolt. And what did you tell her to do something specific with it, or do you leave it to her discretion?
I leave it to her discretion.
Okay. So it's not
I
like a
basically
signal.
tell her. Yeah. Exactly.
That's a good question. Where did
Or
you
I'll tell her to open the fight with this,
Okay.
and it'll aid your party, and it'll signal to us that your engagement has started.
Okay. She nods and she's asked you. Does that mean we should go first, or should we wait for the fight to start happening in the market?
I would think they should wait.
It's gonna get noisy fast.
Yeah. Either that, or Vors can use the screaming bolt to try to disrupt the melee as it's happening.
What do I do?
Yeah, just
Do
tell
this.
them to open. Yeah, tell them to open with it. That's fine. Yeah, so that we at least know when they're doing it.
Okay. She nods. She will do that. She'll do that for you. All right. Anything else you guys want to do planning wise? Are we good to roll on the morning?
All right, and I have 4 of those left now instead of 5.
Where'd we get them, by the way? Nas was asking. I'm not sure I remember either.
Oh, that was in the tree fort place.
Cool.
The good old tree fort.
Yeah. Oh wait, or either that or in the armory where we're getting shot by the ballista.
Cool.
One or the other. I can't remember.
Anyway, don't matter. I'm just curious.
Yeah.
All right. So I will take you guys to the Oath Market. Do you want to do anything else in the morning before the market, real quick?
Nero. Oh, sorry. Nero went to town early and is basically helping to direct setup of fortifications.
Mhm.
Okay. And very early already, people have begun setting up their shop, their stands, trying to get the best locations at the market. So
No. Before that, Vors would ask Nero if we should pay the alchemist a visit.
I could do that.
he'll definitely be at the market.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm not sure we want him to be at the market. Oh yeah, I would also tell the dockmaster, or suggest. I wouldn't tell him outright. I would suggest to the dockmaster that it would be better for business to remain at the docks.
Okay. He nods and says, "Understood. I'll keep me and my men will keep to the docks today."
Iwan, are you going to try and sneak in the manor?
It'd be a lot easier if she had seen around in it. At some point, we should try to get a tour. I mean, she could try, but she's got to see where she's teleporting to.
It has windows, right?
But so? Yeah, I guess.
It does. It has glass windows. It has fancy glass windows.
mean
Avoid all the rigmarole on the bottom floor, just pop in the top floor?
And basically try to recover some armor or something.
Sure. See if there is anything around or available.
Okay.
There are some trees right around there. Could you, like, climb up one to see in, then teleport in from there?
I mean, if she can see like into the window at all, she can just pop in
Okay.
there. So
This is a lot of moving parts. So if
Yeah.
you feel uncomfortable about this at all, either of you should tell me.
Iwan's like super excited about the plan. So she.
Yeah.
All right, just-
Vorz's main concern is that we cannot be in the same place as the raiding party because we will be expected to engage them hard.
Right.
So I don't know. I don't know if we want to go for the manor at this point if we're also hitting the stores.
Well, my thought is that if I win, pulls the stopper, plants it, and then runs out of the market while invisible, she'll have more than enough time to be in and out of the manor, was my thought.
Yeah.
But no risk, I win.
Yep. Yeah.
I mean,
No, understood.
then how?
Risk, don't get
Okay.
seen.
Where is Zane? Have any of you seen him around town this morning?
Did
Have
we
we seen him
cut
around town?
to a little later in the morning? Nero went out earlier. Like now a conversation is happening. So did you guys meet him a little later than that? And
Oh,
like,
yeah,
You're basically at the market now.
So let's cut to the market. You guys just caught me at the market for a moment.
Yep.
Yeah, it's still setting up. It's not in full swing. It's not even like breakfast time, but you guys caught him. You had an early breakfast, and you guys meet up with Nero, who's been doing stuff and directing things. And Nero, you did encounter Zane. He was being led around by Oppian, and they were talking about things you had discussed yesterday at your strategy session. Zane wasn't there, so Oppian is explaining some things to him. And they were specifically asking about what kind of illusions Zane can do. And Zane is very disdainful of even the questions, and he says, "I have a vast array of illusion spells. I can prepare them if you wish to waste my talents that way." And Oppian is explaining kind of the things you were saying, Nero. Can you make the market appear over here, or could you make fake defenses or something like that? And he's explaining just, yes, I can do that. Of course I can do that. And just, why are you even asking me these questions? Why am I here? Sort of stuff. And Oppian is kind of rolling his eyes the whole time. And yeah, so Nero, you kind of observed that passively happening. Did you want to tell him specifically any illusions to do? You want to jump in?
No, he just sort of nods and says good morning.
Okay. He does nod at you. You're one of the few people he does seem to put up with. But that's basically all you get. You get a quick nod and not even a smile. But he stops complaining for a second as he glances your way. And then he's back to doing his stuff. So you
Hey,
ask...
if you want to supervise digging and I'll help on illusions.
That gets a little smirk out of him, and he shakes his head and waves you off. So Vorz, you were looking for Zane? He's around doing illusion-y stuff. What's up?
Oh no, I was just making sure he was accounted for.
Yeah, so he and Oppian are going around and basically just again describing things. And there's some people that Nero didn't give jobs, but gave kind of assignments, like dig a trench here, things like that. Get some wooden spikes over here, and they're just in general reinforcing the area around the town. So I'll just draw some little things.
Yeah, just limiting access points to the market.
Yeah, so we'll just say trenches and things like that. Whatever. Just making it harder to get in and out quickly. And I'll be right back.
Little do they know what chaos they're trapping in.
Yeah, exactly. So at Nero's instruction, they're digging some trenches and they're building some walls and building barricades and things like that. And just setting up perimeters and saying, this is where the patrol should be. And all the while, Nero has, subtly tweaked things to be slightly less advantageous for them should a melee erupt in the center of town. That was Ty, by the way. It this tie.
So can you
Yeah.
like just I don't know if there's anything important about the setup of the market itself, but like, there's clearly a tower over here. Is this like a stage or something?
No, I think it's just a big building. I don't think it does not say anything specific about a stage down there, so I don't believe so. I think it's just a big building on that side of the town, that place.
So everybody's just kind of set up in like a big circle around here.
Correct. Yeah, I think number 4 is like in the center. I think is actually a building, but I don't know. I'll have to check again what the actual center of 4 is. But the everything else is like just tents basically, tents and stands set up. Lots of people from the surrounding mines and merchants from boats, and all the farmers come into town to sell their wares and stuff.
Oh yeah, Joe. I know it's kind of disjointed, but my instructions to Brexter would have been to go hide in the smithy and prepare to aid an attack on the tower, and that when he is done, to restore the smithy to the point, like to where we just make the smithy burn again, as if like we hadn't even been there, like back to like make it still like it was before we came, and I would come for him.
Okay. He's very excited. He's very excited to burn stuff down. He says it's very cold out here. I'm happy to go back to the forge, and he's really. But you want to basically get there by himself, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So he's kind of stealthy, but he's not like invisible, and he can't teleport. So he's gonna be moving through town.
How big is he? I mean, he can fit.
I don't think he's actually like super small. He's not like tiny. I know we've been saying he rides around in your quiver, but he's a small outsider. Like he's
really? Okay.
He's like halfling.
Like a halfling.
He's barely taller than a child.
Oh wow! All right, he's big.
Well, so just take him there in your pack.
Yep.
We'll be fine without you for a minute.
Yeah.
Brexter, if you summon anything, can you make them say a word in Ignan?
He nods.
Hammer.
Okay.
Just hammer over and over again.
He likes the word hammer. Like I like the word hammer, hammer, and he says it in Ignan several times, as if he's happy to say it too.
Perfect.
He nods. He will do this, and Vors goes to drop him off.
Mm-hmm.
And he's on his way back. And Bob Elzub, would you be doing anything to prepare for the thing? You've already recruited some more people onto your team. How would you prepare the morning before a raid on a sword tower?
I would be polishing my hammer.
Okay. Talking to anybody? You telling your team how to fight or anything? Giving any tips? Talking to Zara about anything?
No, I'm mad at Zara. I'm just nodding at my men. They know what they're doing.
Alright. Zara comes to you while you're preparing. You're polishing your hammer. And she sits down to you and says very quietly, I know she's lying, but I didn't want to start any shit right before the raid.
Oh shit.
Instantly she says, what do you
Oh,
know
shit.
and why don't you want her cooking?
I'm sorry, repeat that, you lagged out.
What do you know and why don't you want her cooking?
I just don't. I don't trust her. I've never seen her eat or use the bathroom. Creepy.
She looks at you, and she shakes her head, and she's you're sure?
I'm positive.
She shakes her head. She doesn't know what to make of it. She said she's hiding something, but I don't know what. She's never done anything bad that I know of.
I've never seen her do anything bad either. It's just it rubs me the wrong way.
She nods and she says, "Do you think she's poisoning the food?"
I don't know. The men are still worn out, but it may just be the visiting ghosts.
She looks at you and says, "The ghosts have stopped visiting, right? No one that I've talked to has reported any."
No one has reported any, but the men are still tired.
That's accurate. Some of them did heal a little bit, but the ones you took on the raid did not.
Weird.
Weird. Well, actually, another day would have passed, so actually I can heal all those guys another one. And you didn't do any raids last night, so everybody gets to get heals. So yeah, let me toss all those things out. Bloop, 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 bloop. Lots of heals. Alright, and some of them, they also have some con damage, though. Alright. So, that's all that.
Does the con damage heal?
It does heal, yeah, but they still have several left. I'm just using their hit points as their con. It's a long story. I'm doing a silly thing. So yeah, so Zara is talking to you, Bob, and again, she just says, like, I don't know what it is. I don't know why she wouldn't be eating or using the restroom. But I guess she wouldn't say using. She wouldn't eat. She's not eating or shitting. I don't know why she wouldn't be eating or shitting.
Bobby says, well, if she's not eating, she wouldn't be shitting, eh?
She nods, presumably. We made her eat a piece of food yesterday.
What was that?
We made her eat a piece of food yesterday.
Are you guys lagging over the LAN network?
Yeah, well, I mean, Skype, it goes to space, and then it comes back, and then mine goes to space.
Okay. But yeah. Anyway, she's asking you, like, we made her eat food yesterday. We saw her eat.
Well, she still didn't shit.
Fair enough. And she asks you plainly, what would you like to do?
I think we should monitor her, and then like do a night watch on her. I don't trust her. Or we should just hammer her.
She shakes her head and says, "I don't want to hurt her. She's taking care of us. I don't know, what her story is, what's going on, but she has cooked for us. She's turned whatever scraps we can find in this forest into food for the entire camp. No one has gone hungry under her watch."
You're not wrong, but also she's hiding something. We both agree that she is hiding something, and we should find out what it is.
She shrugs and says, "Lots of people are hiding things."
Well, let's find out before I hammer her to death.
Zara, she shakes her head. She doesn't seem interested in this. She's like, let's not mess things up before the raid. Polish your hammer. Let's get this done.
All right.
Okay. She walks away. Are you going to do anything else before the raid?
No.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to teleport some people to, I guess, the Oath Day Market map. I will take everybody but Bob Belzoob. Are you bringing any of your pets? Brexter is not going with you. Brexter goes hang out with Bob, basically, for now. Are you bringing Houndy or Plotty? I think you're on mute, Mr. Short.
Plotty will come, but Houndy will not.
Okay. Houndy stays, Plotty comes. Alright, I will take you. Bloop.
Get Houndy in the basement.
Oh.
Yeah, he's just going to hang out in the room.
Okay.
With your rotten ass.
Alright. Did I miss anything that anyone said they wanted to do? I think you did talk about seeing the Alchemist before. Did you want to do that, or...?
If I can.
Sure. So,
Vors would go, see if he has, a lesser healing potion or something.
Okay. When you get to his store, there's a sign that says, closed for the day, see at market. But Vors can tell there's someone inside preparing. He hasn't left yet.
So I knock on the door.
He walks up and answers it, and he's very cheery, and he says, yes, hi, hello, hi, yes. I'll be selling at the market today. Is there anything I can do for you? Is it an emergency?
Well, is it the Alchemist?
Yes, it's Linton.
Linton.
Yeah.
I was just Vors would just say, I'm not one for crowds. I was just hoping to stop in and grab a quick potion from you.
No, he nods. Of course. He reminds you of the 10% discount he offered you, you and your party earlier. He says, sure, come in. I can serve you quickly. And he goes behind he gets you in, closes the door, and goes behind the counter to find a healing potion.
No, I'd say, hey, Nero, would you like anything?
No, but I could use a moment of your time, Master Linton.
He's over there, bent over a thing, looking for a potion. He finds a vial, he picks it up, and he's very excited to have it. He says, yes?
Maybe put the vial down for a second.
He looks very curiously, and he's kind of fidgeting with the vial. It's kind of moving it between his knuckles. And he puts it down on the table and says, what is it?
I visited the prison camp before whatever happened. That's common knowledge, correct?
Yes, it is now common knowledge in the town, yes.
I visited the market before that happened. I visited the prison camp before that happened.
Mm-hmm.
There was some distrust of someone who I think you know, if you get my drift.
He looks at you curiously and says, I'm sorry, I do not.
I talked to Rima.
He again shakes his head and says, who?
You're sure she wanted me to talk to you?
He shakes his head and says, she wanted you to talk to who? Me? What?
So you don't know Rima?
It's like, I have no idea who you're talking about.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay then. Well, I was just going to give you some information on her well-being, but if she's not anyone to you, then I guess it doesn't matter.
He shrugs. He says, it would seem so. I wish her all the best, but I have no idea who this Rima person is. Is she from town?
From what I understood, they had her cooking for the prisoners. There was they were sort of distrustful of her, something about that she wasn't eating the food that she was cooking. I did my best to allay their suspicions because she seemed a little off, but...
He nods and says, "Oh, was she the one that she turned in several weeks ago, harboring loyalists in her home?"
Something like that. I don't rightly know. I just know that she was something of a wizard with food.
He shakes his head like I don't know why she would personally ask for me.
All right. Well, then I guess it's not an issue. Strange.
Oh, hey. Dvoris is doing things. Hi, Dvoris.
You rolled a natural 20 too. Actually.
Oh, that's good.
So the
actually,
study
it's
target doesn't matter?
Oh, it does. You get your is it just +2 now though?
Yeah, it's +2.
All right. So yeah, I gotta roll stuff. Yeah, you think he's lying. You think he's very lying. You think he is. He very much knows who Rima is. Vors. Want to do anything about it?
And Nero is, while you're doing the study, Nero is basically talking to him and sort of prattling on about how it's a terrible thing, and at least some of the, not all those loyalists had to be bad people. At least some of them got out, from what I understand.
Linton is quick to correct you and says all of them got out, and he has almost a smile on his face. People say that all of them got out.
All of them?
So that's what people are saying, he says, again with a little bit of a smirk.
Huh. Let's hope we don't have trouble on our hands, but
He says chaos is bad for business. So, the burning down the whole camp. I've never seen anything like that.
I can't remember. How does the Thrune marking work?
It's invisible, except to
Unle-
other people who also have one, and you can make it light up at will, basically.
Vors would remove his gloves.
He has amazing looking gloves, yeah, on his token and
Yeah.
everything. Yeah. He doesn't seem to react to that.
Okay.
okay. Well, hopefully the fortifications will be enough to shoo off anyone who would have a problem with the market today. Like you said, chaos and business don't tend to go together.
He nods and he says, "Yeah, Appian said they were reinforcing the patrols, but I don't, things haven't been good recently. I don't know if he's going to be able to maintain order if something does happen."
This is, Linton, where is your tent? Or your stall?
He says he usually has one at the northern edge of town, but he's running a little late today. He's hoping he can still get it. And we're actually on that map. You can see where he is up here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where.
Oh, okay.
Nero sort of gives you the eyeball and says, do you want me to see if I can go hold it for you while you finish preparing?
He says that would be fantastic. Thank you. Yeah, that would be amazing.
Yeah, I'll try to run over.
And he says,
Or I'll see you in a minute.
yeah, he
All right.
he ratters on for a little bit, saying like, "Oh, it's my favorite spot because of this," and he explains like the cross traffic and things like that. But then Nero eventually goes to go reserve the spot.
Okay. I still would like to buy like a couple potions.
Sure. He does. He says again, 10% discount off your first pet purchase. So how crazy? Are you
Oh,
going?
first like what are the prices?
What is it, like 75 gold for a level 1 potion? That was right.
45. It would be 45 with a 10% discount.
Yeah.
Double a scroll.
If you're just looking for regular healing potions, like 1d8 plus 1 hit points, those are 75. If you want a bigger healing potion, like 2d8 plus 3, that's 300 gold.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. So you pay 270 for one of those. So are you looking to buy a little potion?
Yeah, I'll get 2 littles.
Okay. So 90 gold. Yours buys 2 CLWs for 90 GP. Boop. And he's very happy to serve you. He says, may these work well for you. Good luck in your endeavors, your adventures.
Thank you, Linton. I guess I'll see you at the market today.
He nods.
And I turn and leave.
All right.
All right, or I guess I could, or I would help him carry. Actually, I would help him carry things to his stall because I would need to find Nero anyway.
Sure. He has a little cart, but he does have a little satchel of things you can help carry, and he's happy to have the help. So you can travel with him to the market, and he does pretty shortly after. It doesn't take him more than like 15-20 minutes to get all his stuff together to head out. But Nero did save his spot from someone else from taking it.
Do I perceive anything as he's packing up?
Do you perceive anything? Okay.
Or like basically, I'd just be like trying to work my way like into the back to like help him, like just naturally, like not forcing it, but just to actually like being legitimately helpful. And like not in the way though.
Yeah,
so.
That's awesome. That is fantastic. Have a hero point for coming up with the excuse to make a perception check inside his shop. That's what role playing is, man. It's all about coming up with reasons to roll dice. So you're helping him load up his cart and things like that, and you're just kind of snooping around, and you don't see anything sinister or anything like that. He doesn't have any evil plans out in the open, but you do notice he does have the tools and materials to create both poisons and drugs. Like you with your knowledge of the drug trade and some of your dabbling in black markets, you don't see like vials of poison labeled "poison for sale," but you believe he would be more than capable of trading poisons and to a lesser extent drugs.
So, all right. So I'll just ask him and be like, so Linton, perhaps if someone were interested in something a bit more nefarious than a light healing potion, like, do you have any services to offer, or products rather?
Give me a diplomacy check. This is just now and also just your general talking to him as you're snooping around his shop.
And I'm going to burn a hero point.
For a +8? All right, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he looks at you and he sizes you up for a moment, and you watch that all of his fidgeting stops. He's normally like very bubbly and kind of moving around a lot. When he's grabbing like vials, he's playing with them. But for like a solid 10 seconds, he stops fully and just takes stock of you. And then he says, "I would be able to provide lots of services. What are you in need of?"
Well, actually, I'm already packing some Zerk, so I guess I think that's gonna be fun with Roberto. But so what quality of Zerk would I have bought before? Presumably good, if I'm bothering to carry it around.
Good. Yeah, correct.
So I guess I would pull that out and or I'd go over, lock the door, and then come back.
He's a little worried about that, but he knows something's going down, so he's not freaked out about it too much. Go ahead.
Also, I just rolled a 30 on a diplomacy check.
He's but that's a little intimidating to run over to the door and lock it. But
yeah,
but you're smooth.
No, I mean if I'm going to be if I'm pulling out product where it's not inside of the windows, I guess. Be so this is all I have on me right now. That I was what do you have? Well, this isn't the only thing I deal in. What do you have to, or what can you make? What do you have supplies for?
I have nothing. Since the Imedeans have been in town, drugs are even more illegal than they have been under Cheliax. And you would know that even though it's kind of it's like don't ask, don't tell with drugs for the most part, they are strictly illegal. For their immoral, basically do nothing sort of attitude they instill in people. But basically, since the Imedeans have been in town, it's been even harder to spread drugs. They're very, very serious about it, and as an alchemist in town, I would be the most likely person to suspect. And with my position on the council meeting, the council, I wasn't thinking, basically admitting to you, I haven't made drugs in a couple months. But he does say I have the chemicals and herbs to make various kinds, and he's not familiar with Zerk specifically. But he's confident that if you give him a sample and tell him what it's made of, he can probably approximate it.
All right. Well, I'll just also mention and be so where do you think those people in the what's the Swedish drop?
Yeah, the Swedish drop. Yeah.
Yeah, I was a night or two ago, or it would actually be 3 nights ago, 4 nights ago.
3.
Yeah, 3 or 4. Yeah, 3 or 4 nights ago, we there's some people in the Swedish drop enjoying some materials. Do you know where they could have gotten those from?
He shrugs, again, assuring you that he got out of the game several months ago. And he says, most of the stuff would probably come through the docks if it was coming through at all, unless someone else is making stuff in town. But I don't know anybody capable of that. But he does admit that a lot of people have showed up in town, and he doesn't know who everybody is. For example, you guys just showed up in town.
Yeah.
Maybe one of you can make drugs.
I guess I would offer him a sample of the Zerk. Just as a goodwill.
He accepts it. He takes a little piece and makes sure it's in a vial, and he stashes it in a place under one of the counters where no one's going to go looking for it.
And I would just say like it is slightly addictive. So just if you don't have any experience with it, then yeah, and unless you need to perform feats of strength, I would.
He raises
It's
an
not worth your
eyebrow.
time.
Feats of strength, and he's like, I'll be very interested to study this one then. And he's a big guy. He's got a giant paunch. He's a big fat guy, but you can tell he's built very powerfully underneath all that.
Actually, I could have played this differently. I could have told him to take it before the market and then just have him like just wreck shit.
Just go ape. But yeah, he's interested in studying the little sample you gave him, and he does imply to you that he is interested in going into business. But he shakes his head and says, with the Imedaeans in charge, we can't really, it's really hard to move product. And again, I don't want to risk my spot on the council for this.
Well, if times change, as they always do, then perhaps there will be ample opportunity in the not too distant future. I guess I would use that to test the waters and like see how he reacts.
He nods, and he looks at you with like a stone face, basically just saying like times do change, times always are changing, and he doesn't acknowledge anything else, but he's just kind of
Yep. I guess I would also ask him about his poisons and to not dwell on that too long. Just to ask him like what does he have for poison?
Sure, I don't have anything prepared for that, but basically we'll just say any poison, barring like the ludicrously expensive ones you can't afford anyway.
Okay.
Any of the low level poisons you'd like, just let me know. Unless it's like super weird, then.
Well, I'm kind of doing recon here too to see whether there's anything to like reduce constitution and create hallucinations.
I honestly don't know all the poisons off the top of my head, but Constitution for sure. Hallucinations, I'd imagine, but I don't know.
Like, just like combined so that I'm basically trying to figure out like whether he was poisoning the loyalists.
Well, he definitely is capable of creating any poison you can find on the list. And if there's a poison that could do that, he definitely could have made it. But again, he has no poisons in stock. Again, those are also illegal under the Imedaeans. But he assures you he can make whatever you want, like within a day. Like, it wouldn't even take a day to do it.
Interesting.
And what else? Yeah, I think that was it. Yeah. Anything else you guys want to do before we pick up back at the market? Oh, right. That was what I was saying. Vors. So basically, you've been negotiating with him, and he does seem to have some sort of level of trust with you, and you've kind of tacitly agreed that maybe the Imedaeans aren't the best people to be ruling this government. So he looks at you. He says, in the interest of friendship building, perhaps you could prove yourself with a job for me.
Well, I prefer discretion. So, if as long as it's not too flashy, I'd be happy to.
He shakes his head and says, "This job is out of town. This job, like, you won't even be noticed unless being noticed missing in town is too noticeable for you."
Well, when does it need to be done?
He shakes his head and says, "There's no real rush. It's just I haven't heard from a friend of mine in a couple of days, and it's strange. And I was hoping to send somebody to go looking for him."
Perhaps it'd be better if I undertook that such a job under nightfall. So could I wait until this evening, or is it extremely urgent?
He says, "Certainly you could wait for this evening. I wouldn't deny you the market."
Well, sure. Well, tell me more about this then.
He says that he confides in you that I didn't trust your friend so much earlier, but you and I seem to be of the same mind. I do know Rima. I placed her there to watch the Loyalists, just to see how they fared under the Iomedean rule.
Mhm.
And he says, I have similar agents in other places, including with Loyalists that had escaped earlier. My friend Gregor Ardane.
Has Boris heard that name before?
You have heard that name before. That's the lanky dude that supposedly ran off with that magical hammer at Groth Smithy.
That's right.
Yeah. So he basically informs you, like, my friend Gregor Ardane was embedded with those loyalists. He left town with the first groups of loyalists, and they made camps in some caves nearby. Some caves slightly out of town. Actually, it's not slightly out of town. I can take that back. They made some caves a good distance out of town. And he was sending me regular missives by carrier pigeon or crow or whatever it is. And they stopped arriving. And he's extremely punctual. I don't think anything's wrong with the birds. So I fear something has happened to him.
Well, I'd be happy to investigate. And I'd also like you to know that Rima fares well. She's in good health. Though I'm not sure how much longer that will last. The men around her are suspicious as to her behavior and are looking for an explanation.
He raises an eyebrow and says, "Her behavior."
She doesn't eat.
He looks at you very curiously. What do you mean?
She's been cooking food for the men, and like we don't think that she was necessarily doing anything nefarious, but she didn't seem to eat her own food for extended periods of time, and some of the men are ill, and there may be some suspicions of poisoning from at least one of the members of that party.
Okay. He shakes his head, very confused. Like, I don't understand the not eating. And I assure you, she's only there to watch. All my agents are just there to watch. She doesn't have any skill with poison. I swear I've given her none.
Do I need to do a sense motive on that?
Yeah, go ahead if you want.
All right.
Yeah, you think he's telling the truth. He didn't give her any poison.
Okay. Okay. Well, we may. Is there anywhere else that she could go, possibly? I mean, if those cave systems have been compromised or potentially compromised, then maybe she shouldn't be going where the other loyalists are going. I'm just, if she is a true loyal agent of yours, then I'm concerned about leaving her with the group that she's with now.
He nods. He says that's fine. Rima is where she is, and if it gets too hot for her, I assume she's smart enough to leave. But she's just been keeping an eye on the loyalists and making sure that everything's okay should things change. And again, he looks at you with a smile.
Linton, this is an all-day event. When do you take lunch?
We'll just say he takes a late lunch, like 2 p.m. He gets away from the thing for just a half hour, perhaps.
Okay. All right, great. Well, where do you usually eat? Perhaps I should join you, or could join you.
He says, "Well, I usually just bring my own lunch, but if you're joining me," and he starts listing off some of the restaurants in town, but there's not a whole lot. But they're all out of the main square. Like, if that's what you're trying to do, yeah.
Yeah, I just want to make sure he's away from there.
Sure.
So yeah, I'll just say like I'll meet him at one of those.
Okay.
Of his choice. So.
Okie dokie.
And then I'll like talk to him to get more details about the caves later, like after the market closes.
Sure.
At which point I like help carry the stuff over and we rendezvous with Nero, unless there's something else you want to.
No, that's awesome. This was a great scene. Thank you for doing it. Yeah. So you catch up with Nero, who was saving the spot for the guy, and Linton is very, very happy. He took a little longer than he thought because he was talking with Vors and doing stuff at his place. But he does arrive, and he's begin setting up his shop and just making casual conversation with the two of you. And other merchants all around are beginning to set up shop. There's a bunch of mostly farmers, a lot of people just selling the fruit and wheat and stuff that they grow. A couple of miners, and there's a blacksmith over down there. And then there's Linton. Durgal Murkask is here, the guy that runs the labor guilds. Who else is around? I think that's it. Some bodyguards and other merchants as well.
Is that a statue of a manticore in the middle?
It does appear to be that, but this isn't an official sanctioned map. Let's pretend it's a statue of Iomade in the middle for fun.
All right.
But it does look awful lot like a manticore.
Good eye, that is a manticore.
Is there a Boozlebob punching the Manticore?
Boozlebob, flail in hand, Nero cowering at his boot. It's still
With an
a
arrow
Longacre.
through the mid.
That stands forever.
I'm gonna dismantle that shit ASAP.
All right, so let's just say now it's still fairly early in the morning. Let's just say it's like 9 a.m. and the market is just starting up. And Vors has just kind of implicitly implied you're not going to do the thing until 2:30. Is everybody okay with that?
If he goes at 2, then maybe
2:30.
2:15.
Sure.
Yeah.
Everybody's okay with that?
He'll
Will
be he'll be fine.
Yeah.
will that plan have been conveyed? Like basically, when you see us leave, like chaos should ensue, sort of thing.
Oh, Boris isn't necessarily going to go. He's just going to make sure he's not like Boris is not going to be with Linton at 2:00.
Understood.
He said he'd meet. He said he'd meet him at the restaurant or like the tavern or whatever.
So, but when Linton leaves, chaos should ensue, essentially.
Unless Zane is leaving first.
Right.
Right. So the priority is Zane. But it'd be good if Zane's there and Linton's gone.
Yeah.
And Vors subtly gives you guys the indication that he'll fill you in later.
Fine.
All right. So it's the morning. The stuff is happening, and Oppian and a cadre of his guards walk into the market, and I'll just kind of move them into like there. And they're just they're patrolling, and Oppian is making a very big show of trying to look alert. Like you see him scanning around, looking at the sky every once in a while, trying to watch for all kinds of invisible threats that aren't actually coming at him. He has with him two squires, a sergeant, and 2 militia volunteers, which are just like citizens of Cantaria that have been given some weapons and armor. And they're basically just making a show of being at the fair, being at the market, and just being there in force. Additionally, at the southern end of the market, there is a Hound Archon, who is just on patrol, showing the commoners of Cantaria that angels and archons walk among them, and that they are the chosen people of Iomade. And similarly to Oppian, he looks with his hound head. He's got like a beagle's type head, and he's just looking around, scanning for problems. And what would you guys like to do?
So I want to ask a question about the Hound Archon.
Sure.
So tell me if you think I know anything based on my role, and then I'll ask my question.
Okay, you know a lot of things. What do you want to know about Archons? Yeah.
So I want to know if, like, I think they can either, like, if I'm invisible, if they're going to be able to detect me, like if they have scent or something like that.
They have scent. They can smell things.
Okay.
They can also detect evil, and you would know that even if you're invisible, if you have an evil aura, the aura does not turn invisible with you. So if you happen to be caught in a cone, where he was detecting evil on somebody else, and he gets like a 60-foot cone, that he would see an invisible evil aura floating around and moving around.
But he has to detect evil that's inactive. Like
yes,
he needs to have
for him, it is like a cleric ability. For him, he has to like cast a spell and concentrate on it, and he's not doing that just yet.
And do I think that he would like be susceptible
Before I do that, let me actually correct myself because I didn't even know this is how this works. But apparently, Hound Archons have constant detect evil on all the time. So
Ooh.
I control Z that. So he always, in a 60-foot cone in front of the way he looks, is seeing evil things. So let's put him down here at the beginning. But yeah, so Hound Archons are bad news bearers for you guys. And what was your question that you were asking, Jeff? Sorry.
If he would be susceptible to the gas as well. I mean, I'm assuming he's probably going to make his save, but like, could he theoretically start attacking people too, or is he immune to that kind of stuff?
He is not immune to poison effects, which is what you think the gas is, and he is not immune to mind affecting effects. You do believe he would be fairly resistant to it as, you know, an Archon, but it's completely possible that he would be affected by it.
Okay.
How windy is it?
It's rather still. It's not windy at all. This is perfect for you, basically.
Yeah. Right. Are these 5-foot squares?
If you hit Control G or Command G on your Mac, you'll bring up the grid.
Who uses Mac?
Oh, Nas.
Me.
There are 5-foot squares, but I think if you zoom out, they kind of look bigger than. It's a long story, but you can Control G will show you the actual grid.
Okay, cool.
We're not.
So
actually, we're not in initiative, or we're not fighting or anything like that. It's just kind of they're generally Appian and his people are just generally moving from the north to the south, and the Hound Archon's going to be moving like opposite like that. He's moving from the south to the north, going towards where you guys are.
So he's just circling around, basically.
Yeah, the Archon is basically on patrol only here. He's just going to go in a circle around this market, and there's not a whole lot to see. So he's constantly sweeping the market, and Appian is just showed up now, and presumably is walking through it.
And do I think that for the detect evil, like he can't see through buildings, right? You'd still have to be in his line of sight.
It's visible, yes. Well, you know what I mean. It's line of sight. You're right, not visible. Cause
Okay.
Invisible, blah blah blah. But yeah, like, even a little piece of wood, I think, blocks it. I'm pretty sure. I can double check that for you, but.
So, let's say that once Iwan notices the Hound Archon, she'll mention that she'll start to kind of like quickly kind of skirt away a little bit, like kind of hiding behind, tent after tent, but like not totally like she's sneaking, but kind of like quickly moving.
Mm-hmm.
And she'll mention to Boars that he should probably make himself scarce as well, and she'll just be kind of trying to like make her way out like behind buildings over here.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Is Zane here?
You do not see Zane here in the open market, no.
Boars would be out looking for Zane.
All right. Yeah. So the Hound Archon moves through the place, and a lot of the commoners, the people that are there shopping, they're almost in awe of this Hound Archon, just kind of regally walking around with a great sword slung over its back, just moving, just mingling with the people. And a lot of the especially the newer immigrants to the town, the people who have just shown up, they're like, oh, it's true, it does happen. And like they're used to seeing like devil binders and stuff like that, and this is angels are walking among people now. So the Hound Archon is just walking around, and he seems unfazed by this. He's the hero worship. He's just walking past it, looking around, and he comes towards you, Nero. Want to do anything?
So Nero lets him take a couple of laps, and he's studying him, and he's sort of like spacing out. And he leans over as the Archon comes over, and he gestures to him to lean over into him. And he says, "You have to tell me if I'm right." And he whispers in his ear at his best guess at what this guy's true name is.
Yeah, you're gonna hear with one of those.
Sure.
How does the knowledge check for that work?
I have no idea.
I don't think it's very. I don't think it's very easy.
It's not easy, for sure.
We'll go ahead and roll it.
And just add a 20 to it.
Right. Okay. So you rolled a.
Am I close?
You rolled a 53, but I don't know what that means.
Oh shit!
I don't know.
I'll just look it up, dude. I'm just doing it as a goof, as a lark.
Because I know it's like a feat to take him as a companion, but how does it work if you just call him his true name?
No, I don't think it does anything. But
That's actually not that hard. It says the DC is 10 plus the creature's hit dice. That's insane. At least a month in
But
a
you have to
library
spend a month in a
Yeah,
library,
okay.
so I'm making some pretty
Okay, yeah.
pretty wild guessing.
Yeah, then I'm gonna say even with a 53, you wouldn't get it. Because if you could just do that to every outsider, that would be insane.
Well, it wouldn't matter. I'm not binding him, so
That's fair enough. Yeah. So.
am I close?
He looks at you and he let's say you are a little close. Like there was enough of his name in there that he looks at you very curiously. He heard like a tinge of his name. Because every outsider has like this stupidly long like celestial or infernal name, which is their actual name, even if they go by Koros or whatever. And Nero said enough of this guy's name like in the correct order that he looks at you very curiously, and you see in his eyes that he's definitely like scanning you, but you are not evil.
Oh, I was close, wasn't I?
And he's not saying anything, but he looks at you. He turns his head like a confused dog.
So Nero will just schmooze him a little bit and be semi-distracting.
Yeah. So he's distracted by you, but are you being generally pleasant in your conversation?
Yeah.
About it?
Oh yeah.
It's
Okay.
Nero, come on. And he's not trying to, like, play up Loredana.
Well, I mean, he was guessing the guy's
Right in front
stream. That's a very threatening thing. If he had gotten it right, like you control that elemental or that guy for a while. Cause
Oh, really? Oh,
it's
wow.
a very big secret.
It's a big secret, but if I wanted to bind him, it's a big thing. But yeah.
It's not good for business, man. But yeah, so he's talking to you and he's asking you lots of questions like, where are you from? What are you doing here? Like a guard would be doing.
And Nero just sort of is answering questions. I came into town a few days ago. I came after the fall of Longacre. My family's sort of minor, very, very minor people in Longacre, enough to have a house, but mostly falling into disrepair. I had to sort of hightail it out of there.
And he's nodding the whole time and just trying to get a sense. You're not lying to him, and you're not evil. So you're not setting off any alarm bells, but you are significantly distracting him for a while Iwen is sneaking around. And well, I guess she's already gone. He did laps, you said. So yeah, so she's already snuck off. But you are distracting him. And do you want to do anything else, or are you just kind of
No.
him?
No, just schmoozing him a bit, walking through the market, talking nonsense.
Okay. Also, Oppian walks by and sees you, Nero, and asks how everything's going. Have you seen anything suspicious today?
I'll be honest, I've been sort of distracted with this one, but I haven't noticed anything that seems odd to me.
Oppian smiles and he claps the Hound Archon on the shoulder, and you can see the Hound Archon is not happy with that. But he kind of doesn't pet him, but he kind of claps him on the shoulder like you would a dog, and he says, like, it's amazing, isn't it, what the Inheritor sends to defend the town? And he says the same thing I said before. Angels walk among us. It's part of their propaganda machine.
So no one called you? They sent you here?
You're asking this of the Hound Archon?
Sure, and they'll do it in Celestial.
And the Hound Archon says in Celestial, yes, I was commanded by the Inheritor herself.
Huh. Interesting.
And they can't lie.
Very interesting.
So Oppian, he doesn't spend too much time with you, but he's basically trying to get an assessment of how you think things were going. And he says he and his men, he's getting regular reports. They have runners all over town constantly coming to find him, to tell him what's going on. And there have been no reports of anything. He says something in his gut says the loyalists are going to try something today, but nothing's happened so far. And it's already like the middle of the morning.
Well, I mean, I hope you're wrong, but I guess we'll see, won't we?
Yeah, he nods, and he says, all right, I'm going to continue my patrol. And he gestures to his other people who had kind of been standing behind him, and they go to exit out the southern edge of town, southern edge of the market. So, Vors, you want to go find Zane, and I'm going to go take you... Well, I'm not going to actually move your token, but I'm going to drag you guys to the other map. So, Zane is basically around the defenses in town. He's trying to set up semi-persistent illusions to make it look like they're either better mans or that the traps are more intimidating than they are, and things like that. He didn't agree with the suggestion that he should try to make the market look like it was somewhere else. He didn't think people would buy that they would know where the market really was. That sort of illusion, like, he can't make a giant illusion like that. Like, basically, he said that's not feasible. That's not going to happen. So he's just trying to make it look more intimidating. The assumption from him and Oppian are that the loyalists are going to be raiding the market, and they're trying to. That's what they're trying their best to prevent. So you see him doing that, and he doesn't even acknowledge you. If you walk up close to him, he doesn't even notice that you're there. Presumably.
That's fine. I'm not trying to get his attention necessarily.
Okay.
How far away from the market is he?
He's several hundred feet from the market. He's over there setting up stuff near the barricades and things like that.
Did you? Which map are we on?
I'm on the map of Cantaria, just the city. So he's over here.
Okay. Sounds good. What time is it?
I looked at the real clock to tell you that. It's late morning. It's almost noon, and again, Linton takes a later lunch because like some people come off their jobs at noon to go to the market, so he wants to be there at his stall. But it's almost noon, we'll say. Anything else, you guys? Do you want to do anything with Zane specifically before we jump anywhere else?
Is he mobile at all, or is he just like stationary for all that?
He's moving from between these stations. There's a couple of guards stationed at each place, and he's going between them and trying to set up illusions. You can tell that he's getting a little frustrated because he doesn't think there's much he can do. Like, he's been told to do this, but he doesn't believe these orders are valid. You're kind of listening to him, and he's complaining as much as usual. But he seems to be like openly seditious in his questioning of Oppian's orders.
Wait, so Oppian is...
Oppian told him to do these things, and he thinks the things he's been ordered to do are stupid and a waste of time.
Oh, if I hear him openly talking about that, I would certainly engage him on that point.
Well, yeah. So you're not really next to him. You're kind of just standing around, and you hear him loudly shouting about this. He's like, "I don't know why I'm doing this, but..." And he makes an illusion come. He's like, "I don't think this is going to keep anybody..." Like, he's shaking his head, and the guards, like, he's talking to guards who don't care that he's complaining, basically. And he's like, "Ah, idiots!" And he's just walking around doing the things he was told to do so he can go back to doing what he wants to do.
I guess I would go... What's that?
Want to do anything with Zane?
No, I would, like, now that I know where he is, I would go back to the market while being very conscious of where, like, the Hound Archon's, like, position.
Sure.
And I'd inform Nero of the situation. Or just, like, and ask him, like, is there any way we can get Zane to come into the market?
Yeah, I'll go man the station, I guess.
What? Man, what's okay.
I'll just go over there and be, doing whatever.
Mm.
All right. So you want to
Vors?
Again? Sorry.
Oh, Vors would probably go. Well, Vors would certainly walk out to Zane with Nero.
All right. So Naz, you just want to go out there and try to talk him into coming into town?
Well, just basically talk to him and see what's going on, and sort of like, I'm assuming that the illusions that he knows, he probably has to concentrate to keep them up.
He is using some sort of permanent magic that you are not aware of. So he is casting spells like minor image and major image, but he is using some sort of magic that you do not understand to make them persist. And they're very simple illusions. They're simpler than you would think. Like, it's simple for the spell. But, like, he makes the traps look spikier or whatever, things like that.
Sure.
And he's using some sort of persistent illusion magic.
What do you have to do that? Never seen something quite like that. How are you doing that?
And he just laughs.
Boris would pipe in and be like, "Yeah, it is very impressive."
He likes the flattery. He enjoys that. So he smirks and says, it is a gift from the Inheritor. In addition to the arcane studies, my devotion to her has granted me interesting powers."
Interesting powers.
And he smirks and says, "Yes, far surpassing any wizard that I've ever met so far."
Huh. That's interesting. The divine magic interacting with the metaphysics of blobbity 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 blobbity.
Yeah, and he also goes full blobbity blobbity with you. Yeah, he's like, yes, it's like you can fully understand a spell, but when you are casting it guided by the hand of a god, like it's something else entirely.
So, example, these illusions, they don't require your full concentration to keep them up.
And he nods. Indeed. And he basically says, by her hand, they persist for a while anyway.
For how long?
Hours, as long as they need to. I made my prayers to her this morning, and they'll last as long as they need to. I hope.
So then, why are you standing out here like a guardsman? I mean,
well, he
shrugs
his.
Me.
He says, I'm not finished yet. And he explains that there's this wide area that Oppian says he's supposed to be doing all these things and like make illusory troops over there. And he's just rattling off all these stupid things. He's like, none of these are going to work. They're going to throw a rock they're going to shoot one arrow, realize they're illusions, and just walk past them.
So then why are you doing what Oppian says, and why aren't you doing subtle things that your intellect would demand?
Well, he says, that's a very good question. And he looks extremely frustrated. And he says, but he's in command. And he begins to calm himself down a bit.
All right. Well, Nero will just start talking like, what he would do, like turning this if you make this fortification look like brick, even if an arrow sticks in it, it wouldn't necessarily break the illusion because it's not going to break the barricade.
It's a valid point. Yeah, and he seems to be calming down a bit more, and he's tolerating the work. But you can definitely get the idea that he's very unhappy, and he has been complaining loudly in front of other guards and stuff.
Okay.
I guess Boris, yeah. As Boris is thinking that it may be worth approaching Oppian to tell him that having Zane out there casting more illusions may not be the best for the troops' morale, like the real troops out on that front. That's what Boris would want to go tell him, and if he could find a moment to convey that to Nero, then he would.
All right. Would you stop him at all, Nero? Are you going to say anything? Respond to that?
Well, he's not going to stop him before he goes, but he says, "I'll try and, let's maybe move around the market a little bit." And he sort of proposes to Zane, like, I mean, how many illusions are you going to put up? Why don't we take a lap around and see if there's any other spots that need fortifying?
Toss me a diplomacy check, but he really wants to go,
Sure.
So he's probably going to go with you.
I have to get to the map.
You're like on the update market map, right? Yeah.
Does he get?
What's up?
Oh, I was just going to ask if I can give him a diplomacy bump somehow, but
He doesn't need it. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So you convinced him. Basically, you said like, "Hey, let's get out of here. Let's go take a lap around the market." And he says, "Anything but this." He says, "I'm done here. I'm done here anyway." And he just gestures to one of the guards as if like, "I'm leaving," and he just heads off with Nero.
And Nero sort of like smirks at the guard as they're leaving. He's sort of behind Zane's back, and he sort of like smirks at the guard and gives him like a.
All right. So, yeah, what's up?
Oh, Boris would go try to find Iwan.
Where are you hiding, Iwan? Just around?
She's just like kind of behind one of the buildings. She's been moving behind building to building and just kind of like peeking around the edge of each of the buildings to see like maybe where there might be a good spot to plant it. And then once she feels like she finds one, she'll kind of just, sit like under a nearby tree and pull out a book and just kind of try to, inconspicuously read.
Okay. Yeah, so you notice that there are regular patrols that come through. Like, while you're sitting there reading, looking around, you do see that there are regular patrols that are basically what Oppian came through in without Oppian. It's 2 militia volunteers, 2 squires, and a sergeant. They move through seemingly like every 10 minutes. There's a fresh patrol, usually different people. So presumably there are lots of patrols that kind of converge on this area, is what you would believe. And that kind of goes hand in hand with the things that Vors and Nero would have talked to with Oppian. You basically just confirmed that he wasn't lying to you about the patrols. Let's see, what else? You don't see anything too crazy. There are also a couple of squires that are hanging out in the corners of the thing, just kind of looking around. But that Hound Archon is doing constant laps of the thing, looking around for evil things and bad things. But you don't notice anything too crazy.
Okay.
All right. So let's just fast forward to fun stuff happening. So yeah, so it's 2:30, it's 2. And Linton's packing up his shop, and he doesn't put it all away, but he basically says, out to lunch, be back soon. And he puts someone else in charge, we'll just say. So no one's going to steal his stuff, hopefully. And he heads off for lunch to meet his friend. Yes, sorry?
Before we get going on this, can we do like a 2-minute bio break?
Sure. Everybody go do your bios. We'll be right back.
Meet space.
Meet space.
I'm like Remo.
You're non-meat?
What's
No,
that?
he doesn't shit.
He's non-meat. He's non-meat. All right, I'm going to meet space. I'll be right back.
Yeah, I'm gonna go get some water.
Zombie Rima. Fresh zombie.
Hey, what's up, man?
Okay. That Hound Archon is bad news.
Yeah. It'll be alright, though.
Yeah, I think so too. Fortunately, we can like plant it quickly and get the fuck out of there quickly. We don't need to be around to like find out what happens.
All right. Everybody back? Michael, you're back?
Yeah, I'm here.
You still paying attention, Michael?
No, I was on the phone yelling at people.
I heard you. I heard you talking, but not talking to us. Yeah.
Who are you yelling at?
The people who weren't doing the things they should have been doing.
Yeah, so we bought these lights for the microscopes that cost like $3,500 each, and they don't want to use them. we bought like 15 of them, and they're too bright, and I'm like, idiots.
They're too bright for my microscope.
Yeah, they're like, oh, they're too bright, and I'm like, well, you bought the ultra high power, brightest LED they make.
What did you think was going to happen?
Yeah, I was like, well, they're just idiots. And then they're arguing. I'm trying to explain like PWM. They're like, oh, if we get them dim enough to see what we were looking at, we can like see light flicker. And I'm like, yeah, that's PWM. You got to get over a 50% duty cycle to. And they're like, no, I've never heard of this before. I'm like, I'm teaching you.
I'm sure there's a lot of things you've never heard before.
Yeah.
All right. So 2 p.m. Linton goes off to get lunch with his good friend, Vors.
Mhm.
And Zane, you've lured in there for some reason.
Just to have had him around and about at the market.
Okay. And then so so how are you getting out of the market, Nero? So you're kind of hanging out with Zane. How do you?
I'm not getting out of the market.
You're gonna hang out in the market. Okay.
Correct.
All right. So you're hanging out with Zane. I'm gonna put him next to you.
Yeah, Vors will actually probably... He'll watch from where Iwan goes in, and if he's not needed, he will actually go get lunch with Linton.
Okay. If things go well, I'll just have a nice lunch while chaos ensues.
He
Sorry,
needs an alibi.
I was a bit busy. What's that outside? Okay. So what's the plan, Iwan? You're coming in?
Can you bring the map back up?
Oh, sure. This map.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I can just describe the plan, I guess, unless you want me to do it step by step. But basically, while, like, Iwan's going to sort of wait, like, make sure there aren't any patrols around that's going to hear her. She'll start, she'll basically make herself invisible. And she'll come in sort of around here and, like, peek around the corner, basically. And I'm going to assume, you can tell me if it's not kosher, but that this barrel is an open barrel as opposed to being a closed barrel.
Yeah, it looks open to me, sure, yeah.
So she's basically just going to, like, very carefully place it in there and pull the stop. And basically, as soon as she pulls the stop out, she'll just teleport as far as she can, preferably into, like, a bush that she was hanging out by.
Sure.
Out in this range. So if you want me to roll for any of that stuff, just let me know. But that's the overall plan.
Yeah, throw me a stealth check. So there's some people working around the barrel. There's a merchant there, and he has like a helper and a bodyguard, but they're not super observant. Go ahead and make a stealth check, and then we'll see if any of those close people noticed you. Do anything.
Hold your breath.
She gets a plus 20 from being invisible.
Oh, that'll do it.
No, I meant hold your breath when you unstop her.
Well, she's gonna pull the like she puts it in the barrel, and while it's sitting on the bottom, just pulls it, and then immediately just like, poofs 50 feet out of there.
How does it actually look? Because I always imagine it that like you actually like take a finger and like rip a hole in the universe and jump through it. So how does Iwan actually teleport?
So normally it is like that, but basically she'll just rip the hole behind the barrel and kind of like dive in. Yeah.
Yes. So trying to do it very subtly, just like basically just jumping into the wall behind the barrel, but appearing in a bush over there. Yeah, understood.
Actually, what she should do is make the hole and then reach through, unstop her, pull the stopper with her.
Open the hole, think through. Yeah. Yeah, but so she does get away, and the people, I made some checks, none of them saw her because of her invisibility bonus. So she gets away with it. So she does that, and there is bad fog for everybody. So I think it's like it starts 50 feet, yeah? That's what we said before? And then it grows.
Yeah.
And
Invisible odorless gas. Ooh.
Yeah, so I'm making it slightly gray. So that's 50. Oh, you can barely even see that if I make it that light gray. Come on, guys.
oh yeah, I didn't see you were doing anything.
Yeah, I'm the
So yeah, Vors would ask Iwan if it's done, and if yes, then he's.
Yeah, and she would. I mean, basically, he would know that she was going to end up at that bush. So I'm assuming the two of them are just at the bush. Yeah.
Yeah.
So she'll say yes, but I think it'll be pretty clear in a second that once the screams begin.
Let's make it purple.
But she'll also say that, like, we should probably start getting the fuck out, like, further away.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, so that's 50 feet. So you undo the stopper, and it doesn't really go around walls and stuff like that. Like, it doesn't go through walls, is what I mean. So it's not exactly like that, but it begins at this edge and begins slowly wafting towards the other side. So after you initially stopper it, the people on the left, they make a will save. And did I tell you what the save was, or do I have to look it up?
It's a 14.
Haha, thank you. That's useful. So I'll select everybody, including this blacksmith. And that's everybody in it right now, yeah? Okay. And they make will saves. All of them failed except for, I see Townsfolk 7, the Squire 3, and Blacksmith made it. Okay, so Blacksmith is fine. I'll use a buff to say fine, because that's going to be easier than the other way around. If they have a clover on them, they were lucky enough to have made their save. There you go. And Townsfolk 7, whichever one you are, that's one. Oh, it's the helper from the one down here. There you go. Alright, so yeah, so in the first round, this immediately bellows out. This colorless, odorless gas comes out, and people who inhale it and fail their will save, I just begin beating the nearest person. They go insane. They go crazy. Their ape brain is going crazy right now. So, yeah, so I'll just go ahead and start smashing people. So, Townsfolk 12 and Bodyguard 4. Townsfolk 12 tries to hit you with a scythe. Nope. Bodyguard turns and defends himself with a dagger, which is a hit. It stabs you for 7 damage, which doesn't kill a Townsfolk, but does a serious hit. Stabs him right in the side. Townsfolk 4 also failed a save, is going to come over and try to hit the guy with a scythe or a club.
It's a flank. It's a flank.
Move into a flank. Yeah, why not? It's murder. And that's a hit with the flank for 6. Alright, and some more stuff is happening. This bodyguard attacks the merchant he's working for. Gets a threat, does not confirm, but does hit for 7. Stabs the merchant he's working for in the back. The merchant turns around, and let's say he tries to slam him with the chest, and he misses horribly. Townsfolk 7 is confused, has no idea what's going on, can't smell or see anything, just knows that his friends are going crazy. And he says, Sir, what's going on, sir? And he attempts to grab the merchant by the shoulder, but the merchant throws him off. And then Townsfolk 1 is over here, and he's going to run at this other merchant who's just minding his own business, and he tries to stab him with a club, we'll say. Yeah, there you go. So he clubs the guy for 5, just grabs a piece of wood nearby and slams him in the head for 5. The blacksmith made it again. He's also looking curious, and he doesn't know what to do. Like, he doesn't know to walk someplace else. He's just hanging out there. And that's everybody in the first round. So how are you guys able to see this? Like, Nero, you're there, yeah? And Iwin,
yeah.
Iwin, you got far enough away that you're no longer seeing this, or where are you?
I mean, she would be, like, let's say a little bit further than that range away. She probably wouldn't have a good view, because she'd be sort of peeking through the alleyway that she, snuck in there, so she wouldn't have that great of a view.
So there's commotion brewing, and on this side, Phaedrith Zane he's looking around very curiously to see what's happening, and it seems like fights are breaking out.
I'm gonna go look into this. Make sure that nothing's going on, Master Zane.
Sure. He says, of course. And he begins looking around, just trying to suss out the situation.
Nero will just start moving over.
Yeah. So Zane's wasting around, just kind of taking toll of everything. What's going on? Who's fighting who? Trying to see if there's any obvious sides or if anyone looks like a loyalist. But it doesn't to him, because they're not. So he's just looking around, and he stops by Durgal Murkask and says, who's fighting? Do you know who these merchants are? And Durgal shakes his head. He has no idea who these people are. And then the next round, it goes out, 10 feet around, or what does it say?
10 feet. 10 feet around.
Alright, so it's going to get even more purplier in here, man.
And I don't know if this matters, but I think, like, this is the point at which once basically, like, Iwin hears the commotion happening, like the swords clanking and stuff, she would start quickly making her way over towards the manor area. I don't know if that's going to matter now, but I'll just mention that she's on her way.
You're booking to the manor. Understood. Okay, and Vors, what are you doing? You're hanging out in the alleyways and watching, or are you going to lunch?
I'm going to lunch.
You're going to lunch? Seems like everything here is wrapped up nicely. Alright, so you head off to lunch. Nero is the only person left in the scene. Zane is now caught in this thing. He did walk just close enough to be in it. So these guys are going to make their save. If they've already made their save, I don't think they need to save again. So
Correct.
that's fine. So Zane made his, but just barely.
Each round, a creature within the area of the gas must succeed at a DC 14 fort check.
Right, but the last.
But if they make it, but once they make it, they are
immune.
Any creature that succeeds at its save is not subject to the same gas again, whether or not it remains in the area.
Correct. So the people that fail their saves, I guess, have to make another save because they're just go insane for one round, and then I guess the next round they go insane again. So everybody needs to make another save. But that makes sense. So these new people, Durgal and Phaedrith both made their saves, so they're fine. But Townsfolk 10, he's pissed off, and Nero, you're right in front of him. So he grabs his scythe. He's a farmer, and he gets a 0 on you, and he misses horribly. So you watch as he just grabs a scythe from the table next to him and just swings wildly and just rips a little bit of your cloak, but misses horribly. And I guess everybody else has to see if they go insane again. So them, not you, and you. That's everybody who made it before. So more saves. All right, so Bodyguard 4 and 20. Okay, so Bodyguard 4, that's up here. He made his save now. Townsfolk 14 is the one that was hitting Bodyguard. Okay, and Bodyguard 1, the one that stabbed his master, also made a save now. The Merchant is still pissed off, and that guy's still pissed off. All right, so the Merchant is still going to beat the guy that hit him. No, missing. Draws his dagger, he doesn't do anything. Townsfolk 7 is asking the Merchant to stop, so Bodyguard 1 is going to try to grapple him to calm him down, and succeed. So now they're wrestling. He's like, calm down, sir. I don't know what came over me. Calm down. And he's trying to get his friend to calm down. Townsfolk 7 is concerned. Townsfolk 12 takes his scythe and tries to hit the Bodyguard again, and that's a miss. He's no longer flanking because Townsfolk 14 isn't fighting. But Bodyguard 14 isn't going to take being stabbed at lightly and continues to attack. He says, who the fuck are you and why are you stabbing me? And he stabs at him. A 12 is enough to hit an unarmed peasant for 6 damage. And he is on the ground bleeding to death. So I'll put the little Grim Reaper on him. Alright, and that's everybody. So then it just keeps growing. So basically we don't have to play this all out, but lots of things are going to happen. Everybody's eventually making saves. But Phaedrith and Dursk, looks like all the actual major NPCs are making their saves.
I want to see if I make my save.
Oh, yeah. So yeah, I guess you would move again, Nero, and then the fog would go.
Yeah, so Nero's just like, what the hell?
Are you intentionally going to move out of the way of the fog? Like, are you smart enough to... No? Okay. So then go ahead and make your will save.
Is it a...
You
it's a fort save, right?
I've been making will saves. Are they fort saves?
The fort saves.
Ah, crap on a stick. Whatever, it's canon. I rolled them already. You can make a fort save. That's fine.
No worries, man.
Also,
hey, if I can fail this...
You can intentionally fail saves. If you just want to inhale a bunch of the gas and make sure you go crazy, you can do that.
Yeah, sure, I'd love to do that.
Okay, then yeah, you intentionally fail the save. So you just attack the nearest person. So you go ahead and, I guess, Townsfolk 10.
Nero has on purpose not brought a weapon to this, because he knew he was going to do this to himself, so... he just racks the guy next to him, punches him.
Yeah, sure. Roll 1d3 plus strength. I assume it's a plus on your strength.
Yes.
Is it?
It is.
Is it a plus?
Even though I never use it.
1d3 plus strength.
Where is... Oh, there is no d3. Roll a d6.
Yeah.
So that's a 3 plus 2, 5.
Damn, girl, you got a big strength.
So, non-lethal because I'm fisticuffing him, but...
Sure, I'll just mug it. Yeah, so you just clock him in the side of the head after he tried to scythe you. But yeah, everybody's going crazy, and you do look as though you've gone crazy, because you did. So everybody looking around, like, if Zane doesn't... You're not faking it, so you don't have to roll bluffing like that. But as it goes on, you see... let me make one for the this guy, too. He gets a +4. So he failed. So the Hound Archon would attack the nearest person. So the Hound Archon would go to a civilian and master a greatsword one for 8. Which is not dead, but dying enough. So yeah, he goes up and he's cutting stuff. And everybody else is just a melee erupts. Like, pretty much everybody who hasn't made the save already starts pounding on each other. And at least for a couple of seconds, we'll say for at least half a minute, there's just chaos is erupting everywhere. And even the Hound Archon, let's see how many he fails. So he composes himself after the first cut. He watches the civilian fall to the ground bleeding, and he's like, oh my god, what have I just done? And he snaps out of it for the next one, so that doesn't go any further. And I'm not going to rule out all the attacks, but let's just say that there were a couple deaths. Like, there was enough time that someone got their head caved in. But the other NPCs are kind of... eventually, Phaedreth would try to detect magic. And he would detect that there was some sort of magic in the air. And I don't think he's got an air spell, though. I'm pretty sure you didn't slot one, bitch. Yeah, he's got nothing that can disperse this cloud. So he basically just shouts out, like, hey, everybody out of the square, out of the square! And he just tries to guide people out. But the people that are fighting don't seem to listen to him. They just continue fighting. So for a full minute, there's a torturous melee happens all over the place. People are just pounding on each other. Several civilians are dead. We'll say one prominent merchant is also killed in the fight.
If Nero comes out of it in time, he'd probably try to save somebody, but let's...
Make some fort saves, buddy. Or
Sure, it's fine.
yeah, once you fail it, you can't, like, decide to...
You can't
yeah,
decide to inhale.
Exactly. Now you're just at the whim of your breath. So go ahead. Let's see how many rounds you pound on somebody until you snap out. Oh yeah, look at you! So yeah, so you smack that guy once, just enough to look crazy in front of the people that aren't crazy. And then you snap out of it, just like a lot of people around you. So if Zane was looking and he was also pretty distracted, he did see you go crazy and snap out of it like everybody else.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry. So Nero will try to save somebody if somebody needs saving, but...
The guy in front of you smacks you one more time before he gives up. Oh, he stabs you for 7. So you're apologizing to him, and he catches you. Oh wait, you have a much higher AC than I think you did.
That's fine. I don't have my shield and stuff. That's fine. He'd just take
It's
it.
still, even wearing your chain shirt, you're better than that. I'm sorry for saying that. I thought an 18 looked high for me. I'm used to hitting kilometers without armor on.
I would have taken it.
Yeah, so he clangs at you with his scythe, and he actually does hit your the chains of your shirt, but doesn't actually make any contact. And you continue apologizing and calming him down, and the next round he seems fine. But like I said, several deaths, and eventually the fog just goes away. After 5 rounds, the fog just dissipates. It's gone. It needs to be restoppered and released again if you want it to work. So as people are seeing what's going on, another patrol comes in, not Oppian's patrol, but a patrol of the squires and the sergeant comes in and say, what's happened? What's going on? And they move around to look at the injured. What's going on?
So Nero's just hustling around, and he says, "Don't come in! Don't come in!"
And they look at you. They pause. And say, "What is it, Nero?" And they seem to know who you are.
It's something in the air, right? Zane, you were saying something?
And Zane says, "Yes, I don't know what, but there was some sort of magic in the air. I'm unfamiliar with it."
So Nero just goes about healing, and he says, "We seem to be fine now, but don't come in. That's all we need is you guys heavily armed, losing your minds."
The Hound Archon comes up from behind you and confirms your story. And again, they cannot lie. So confirms your stories to the guards, saying that even he himself took a swing at an innocent civilian, and for that he is tremendously sorry. And the guards don't have any capacity to, alleviate him of his guilt. But they nod and they say, well, let us know what you think, Zane and Nero. They say your names in the same breath, and Zane seems a little put off by that.
Just stay out. I think I can come up with something to move the air.
Okay. And one of the squires said, "I'll report to Oppian at once." It's one of the runners they were talking about. So one of the squires goes and runs off to find Oppian. All right. Anything else you guys want to do?
Just let the air clear. Nero will just be healing up people, and I'll just drop some cure lights.
Okay. Vors, what yeah.
I was ordering the key lime pie.
Yeah. So he's over there enjoying town over there. And some people they ran out of the market and were shouting and stuff like that. But Linton doesn't seem all that surprised at your lunch with him, and he seems rather casual about it. He's just enjoying a lunch with you as you are with him. And
I would just be like, I would just be asking him about him. Like, does he have any family in town? Like, how far back does his family go? Like, basically seeing if I, like, yeah, if I know like anything about like his family or like ones that he mentions.
He doesn't have a family name or anything like that. He says like you wouldn't know anything about us. His last name is Demir, and he's basically just a nobody. He says his family's not even from Cantaria. He came here himself in his 20s, and he just set up shop. You know, he said his dad was an alchemist, taught him everything he knew, and you know they had disagreements, and he left.
Okay.
Yeah, so you have a nice, casual, polite conversation with him over dinner, or lunch, sorry, while chaos is erupting in town. And Island, what were you doing? I know you were spying from your alleyway. When shit got really bad, what were you doing?
Well, almost immediately she would have, like, once she saw that chaos happened, she would have started making her way over to Zane's manor.
Right, okay. Okay, so we have 40 minutes left. We're going to do the sword tower, and we'll probably do the manor next time. But Bob, Elzub, are you still there?
No.
Damn it, okay. We're going to the other place. Alright, so you have among your people 3 townsfolk, Mr. Bob Elzub. And they do not really want to fight. They don't really want to go to the sword tower and fight. They're loyalists in that they support your cause, but they do not want to go to the sword tower. And Zara seems okay with letting them stay. What do you say?
I will try to rally my original 3 men.
You have 5 men now. But
But I have the original 3.
Do I have to remember which one are the original 3 now?
We'll just assume it's the 3 next to me.
Sure.
And those guys are like my lieutenants now.
Yeah, the red ones are your lieutenants now.
And I'll bring them with me.
Okay. Oh, you're only bringing them with you? You're not going to bring all your buddies?
No. The other guys don't want to come. They're not really loyal.
Oh, well, no. Again, so the townsfolk here, I'm sorry, these are what I was talking about. They're not the ones that, they don't want to come, because they're not warriors, they're not trained to be soldiers.
Oh, I thought you were talking about my other dudes. Okay,
no,
yeah.
They want to come, but they're not your lieutenants or whatever, yeah.
Oh, okay, fine. Then, I'm gonna take, townsfolk 2, forcefully.
Yeah?
He's coming with me.
Yeah.
No, actually, I want one. I want Rake Guy.
You want Rake Guy? Yeah. So how do you tell him he's coming with you? He said, he doesn't want to go.
I'll explain to him kindly that we're not keeping him alive to be a bitch.
Yeah. He says, I have no training, and like people around him are handing him weapons and stuff. He's like, I have no idea how to use this.
Well, I mean, he has a rake.
Well, he doesn't actually have the rake.
Oh.
He can use a club, if that's what you're saying.
All right, fine. Yeah, so we'll give him a club, and I'll say it's like raking, but horizontally.
Okay. He shakes his head. He says, I don't think I'll be much use, but anything for Thrune.
Do we have a helmet we can put on this man?
You are... Whatever happened to the armor? Like, you secured a deal with the Dockmaster. Did you ever go get it? We can just hand wave and say you got it.
We got it and brought it there last time. Yeah.
Okay, then yes. There's totally armor for him then, yes. Again, he's not proficient with armor, but you put a helmet on him and you put some like loose-fitting leather armor on him, and he doesn't seem worse for wear, but he's very awkward in it.
Alright, well, let's go.
Zara nudges you and says, notices that Rima is in the procession of people leaving the camp, and she says, are we taking her?
No, she should stay here and cook with the other townsfolk.
Okay. And Zara notices that you're not very diplomatic about things, so she goes over to explain to Rima what's happening. And she basically says, hey, we're not sure you're suited for this mission. This is very dangerous. Lots of stuff is happening. I'm
taking an army out, and they're going to be hungry when we come back, man.
There you go. That's not half. Did you shout that from the front?
Yes.
That's pretty good. All right, and let's give another heal for everybody. Why not? But yeah, so yeah, you shout from the front that dinner's not going to cook itself while we're out getting that sword tower. And Rima, she just looks very frustrated, and she says to Zara, "I don't know what his problem is with me, but I can't take much more of this." And she storms off. Oh, you have more than that. All right, you have much more than that hit points. All right. Anyway, so Zara didn't do a very good job of talking her off either, but you're ready to go. So you ready to go kick a sword tower, buddy?
Sure.
All right. So we're going to a sword tower. New map.
Sorry we took so long, dude.
All right. So the map is really small, Mr. Michael.
Uh-huh.
Let me know when it finishes loading for you.
Okay. I'm here.
Okay. So you get there, and you see two halflings are at the top of the tower. I'll just put them over here. So my first question is, how are you approaching the tower? Are you trying to be sneaky about it? There's not a whole lot of grass and cover or anything like that. You're basically walking on an open field to a tower. So how would you approach it?
We're just marching towards the tower.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess you've heard that some chaos was happening to the north, and maybe alarms were called. So you hear some sort of stuff is happening up there, and you're just marching straight towards the tower.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So seeing an actual army of Thrune loyalists, 12 deep or whatever it is, just marching towards the tower in an actual military formation, they begin shouting. And they don't even ask you what you're doing. They've been told to expect stuff like this, and they begin shouting and calling for. They say "Sir, come, please," and we'll just roll initiative and stuff. So we'll say that they saw you about 100 feet out. So you'll take one full round to basically sprint in. So they are just shouting and readying their slings. And Bob Elzub. Are you going to run in first, or are you sending your men in first?
Zara's men are going in first.
Zara's men are going in first. Okay, so you tell your men to hold back. And Zara looks at you, and she's not sure what's going on. But she says, if they see us, we, she just was like, let's go, charge! And she's basically just gesturing, let's go. And she leads the charge, so she runs in first. Because that's the kind of leader she is. So she gets close to the sword tower, and you watch as these halfling slingers try to sling at her. Whoops, wrong buttons. And they both miss. You see these sling stones pelting into the dirt around her, as her and all of her, her compatriots are just surging forward like that. And so then you see that happen, Boozle Bob. Are you telling your people to go in first now too, or?
Yeah, my people are going in now.
Okay, yeah, so your guys are behind those ones. And I'll just move more like that. Like that. Bob Elzubs. And where are you? Are you in the front? Are you in the back? Or where are you going? Yeah?
I'm here.
You're right in the middle of the blob? Yeah, so you guys are running up in a military formation, and these slingers are trying to pelt you, and it's just not taking. And you hear people basically barricading the door behind the thing. You hear people slamming things down there.
Alright. Well, let's kill these halfling slingers, I suppose.
They are 20 feet in the air, slinging from the top of the tower.
Alright.
Bolt. When does Zara use the screaming bolt?
That is accurate. So, are you doing anything, Boozle Bob? Because Zara's going to do her screaming bolts.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have anything to do, so...
Yeah.
You could hit the door with your hammer.
Yeah, I could. Alright, fine, I'll do that.
Alright, so go ahead and do that. At the same time, she is going to shoot her screaming bolt at one of the halfling slingers. She clips the slinger and hits him for 3, and it's a +2 bolt, yeah?
Yep.
So it does 5 damage, which is a not insignificant hit to the slinger. But more importantly, it shrieks like a bottle rocket when it shoots off, letting everybody in the main area know that this siege has begun. And then Boozlebob runs up and slams the door, and you do hit it, and for 11 damage you don't break it, but you do put a good number on it. Alright, so the guys next to you, they start hacking at the door. They have different weapons, and they're not as good as you at hacking at doors very much, apparently. But, yeah, so they're hacking at it with a sword and a spear, and they're getting some dents in the wood, and it's mostly coming apart. But you can tell they've put stuff behind it to barricade. This is obviously a defensible position, but you do see that there are two soldiers behind the door.
Ooh.
They look like a 6 sword knight and a squire. And I'll just roll initiative like this. Is how I'll do it. And Zara. There you
They
go.
need to roll will saves because of the screaming bolt.
Oh, hey, that's fun. What does it do?
Oh.
It
There's
makes
plus
them
2
shaken.
bolt. Yeah. There's plus 2 bolt screams when fired, forcing all enemies of the shooter within 20 feet of the path of the bolt to make a successful DC 14 will save or become shaken for 1 round.
The slingers are scared, and the knight captain is scared. They're both shaken for 1 round. I'll give him the scaredy face. Alright. So they were inside basically barricading the door. So now the loyalists go again. Zara shot her bolts, so she goes up there. And now the loyalists are there, so they're banging on the door with you. And there's not enough room. There's not enough stuff to do, so a bunch of the loyalists take out their ranged weapons and begin firing at the halflings. I guess they have javelins, I guess. Whatever. So they take whatever weapons they had available, and they're just kind of throwing with the halflings. And the halflings are not especially armored. So yeah, so this one hits that one for 4 damage, and this other one hits this one for 4 damage. Yeah, so 2 javelins go up and stick into the little halflings up there. And then Boozlebob, or Bob Elzoob, what would you have your loyalists do?
I'll have them hit the door with me.
Yeah? Okay, so they're basically swarming the door with you, and it's very, very difficult because there's so much stuff going on over here, but everybody's trying to get in the door. And with all of their strength, the door is now open. So you're bashing the door, eventually it collapses, and it's a free-for-all inside. Halfling slingers are, like, astounded at the show of force you guys have, and they are going to try to hit Bob Elzoob, because he looks the strongest. The first one clangs into your headpiece and does, you're fine. Just clang, and you're unharmed. Do you have armor on your sheet?
I don't know.
You have to look at that later, because you have a 15. I think you should probably have more than that. But anyway. So yeah, but the 20 definitely hits anyway. I'm pretty sure a 20 would hit you. So the slinger does hit you. One of the rocks hits you in the neck for 6 damage. So it just it bounces off because you're so strong. But you do feel a bruise forming as one of the halflings has managed to hurt you. Bob.
I have a chain shirt on.
Oh, there you go. Okay, there you go. So Bob Elzoob, what would you like to do? Yeah, you said a shit dex. That's what it is. Okay. Good.
I'm going to walk into the room, I suppose.
Okay. Yeah, so you step in, and you see a sword knight, a 6 sword knight with a shield and a sword, and he's looking a little wary at you. He looks a little afraid of the bolt. And to your right is a squire, and you're very familiar with the squires. They're like low-level paladins. What's your plan?
I'm going to...
Attack.
Yeah, I'm going to attack, but which one?
Pick one.
I would like to... all right.
Pick one, and are you smiting?
Yeah, I'm gonna smite the squire.
The squire. Okay, you're smiting the squire. Okay. So you look at him, and you know he's good just because he's a squire. He's got fucking Iomede's holy symbol on his shield.
Yeah.
So you smite him, and you fill yourself with the unholy energies of hell and/or the abyss, which is like demons. And your hammer now infused with that energy. And what are you going to do with it? That's a swift action to do that, so you can do that and then still attack.
So I'll beat him with a hammer, I suppose.
Sure. So you get your plus charisma to hit. So you rolled a 1, which is always a miss. So you walk in the door, your minions just burst it down. You step in, you survey the scene, you take out your hammer, you see it infused with this unholy energy, this black aura, this visible aura permeates it. And you look at the squire, and you swing at him, and he just goes like that, and you miss entirely. And that's your turn.
That's awful.
So the squire, seeing that, he's going to try to smite you now. So he's going to hit you. And his 16 plus his charisma of +2 is an 18, which is a hit on you for 10, plus his paladin level, which is a 2. So you take 12 damage. Because he smote you good.
God damn it.
The sixth sword knight goes, and he is still afraid of that bolt until Zara's turn. So this is the turn he acts afraid. But he just has a -2 on his roll. So he's going to attack Bob Elzub if you're the only one there. He's going to try to step in front of you to draw the attention of everybody and attacks you with a longsword very ineffectively. And that's it for him, and his fear is going to be gone now. All right, Zara goes, and seeing this, she doesn't like that a lot. She's basically going to try to walk around you. She raises her shield. No, she has a real shield now. She doesn't have Nero's shield. She raises her shield and moves in defensively, trying to walk past them to get around. So they both get an attack of opportunity on her, but she gets a +4 to her armor class. And those are both misses. So clang, clang, you can watch her. She's very, very adept with her shield. She's raising it just at the right time to avoid their blows. And she manages to just walk around them in a full flank. And the Thrune loyalists go. Zara shouts back for her loyalists, "Stay back, stay back. It's too dangerous. Don't come in." And what do your loyalists do?
You guys should come in.
Are you just saying it like that? Are you ordering them, or what are you doing?
I am having the non-lieutenant ones come in. I'm ordering the non-lieutenant ones to come in.
Okay, make an intimidate check, because this is a scary order, especially considering Zara just said it was too dangerous. You successfully intimidate them, and your lieutenant ones are actively backing you up. It's like, get in there, you heard them! So yeah, so the two that aren't lieutenants attempt to move past them. And luckily for them, neither of them have combat reflexes, so they walk past, and they are able to actually get in. One of them gets up to the steps, and the other one will get over to here, and they both attack the sixth sword knight. Long spear. We'll say that they have swords because they moved in. So a 7 and a 16. The 16 is we'll say he's flanking. We'll say he got it. So 8. Cracks him for 8. And the other loyalists stay outside. The lieutenant ones stay outside. Halfling slingers. You hear them shouting down, like, "Is everything okay? What's going on down there? We see they broke through the door," and now they're slinging at the loyalists in front of them. And they hit for 4 and 3. Yeah, they're cracking skulls down there. Crack, crack. None of those are threats, right? Nah, close though. All right, Bob Elzub, you're back to you.
Well, I mean, we're flanking this dude, so.
Yeah.
I'll just whack him to death.
But you're smiting the other one. You're aware of that, right?
All right, fine. Then I'll continue missing the squire.
Okay. Well, you don't have to. I'm just letting you know.
No, that's fine. It's fine.
So you get a plus charisma.
You can smite good more than once a day, dude.
Yeah, I know.
Do you want to smite the other one too?
Yeah, I would rather have smote the other one.
Well, you chose.
You can smite him too.
Well, you chose. Can you have more than one smite up at once?
He's got 2.
But can you
Well,
have
maybe. I
them?
don't know. That's a good question. I don't
Well,
know.
anyway, let's say you swing at the squire with a 10, plus your charisma of 2 is a 12. That's still not enough for the squire. So the squire again raises his shield, and this time your hammer hits it, and you hear it actually hiss against the shield with all its unholy energies, but you still have not hurt the squire. So the squire then goes, and he's still smiting you, so he takes another crack at you and misses.
It doesn't say anything about having more than one up.
Well, then I guess you could as a swift action. That's interesting. So if you want, I'll let you turn it on if you want. You can turn on your smite for this other sword knight if you would like. It also gives you charisma to armor class, so your armor is 2 higher or 3 higher. So the sixth sword knight goes, and he's fucking surrounded, and he is not happy with that. So is he a paladin? Is my question. It says no. I don't think he is actually. So, does he have any spells? He does have spells, but they're not very useful in this situation. He's the one surrounded by a bunch of people. Yeah, so he's just fighting at this point. So he takes his sword and he actually tries to spin around as if threatening all of you, but he's actually going to stab at Loyalist 4 behind him. And he turns, and a 13 is not enough, so he clings against the armor of that guy. And Zara is going to attack the 6th Sword Knight in front of her, and she's going to fucking kick his ass, I'm pretty sure. 21 hits for 6. That's actually not that bad. The other one is a miss. So it cuts her down a little bit, and no other feats come into play. Yep, that's it. So the Loyalists go again, and your friendly Loyalists stab at the Sword Knight. Sword, right? Sword. 7 and a 16. A 16 is a hit again for 12. There you go. That's a good hit. So the 6th Sword Knight gets cut down and is not doing very well. Still standing, though. Halfling Slinger on top. They're still just trying to crack the skulls of the ones directly in front of them. And I'm going to say that these ones begin taking cover. Like, they begin, like, raising their shields higher and trying not to die. So I'm not going to mark them, but they're trying not. They're raising their armor class. Bob, you're back.
Alright, we're gonna smite the Sword Knight guy.
You're smiting the Sword Knight guy. And then what happens? Oh, man.
That has a +2 on it.
Okay. 16.
Because his Furious Focus doesn't kick in on the one-handed weapons for some reason.
Okay, we'll have to figure that out. Sure. So that's a +2 from that, and you get a +3 from your Charisma, and you get a +2 from flanking with Zara, and that is a hit for 14 damage.
And he takes 5 extra.
Oh yeah, from smitings. So he falls down to the ground, and he is bleeding to death, but not dead yet.
Good.
Excellent. Glorious Reclamation Squire sees the Sword Knight fall down, and he says, "No! No!" And she just cuts at you with all her might, and misses.
Bob Elzub laughs and says, "Step onto his body."
She will. She'll take a. No, she's not brave enough. We'll say that she's brave enough. Not brave enough. She just watched her mentor get cut down there. She's not going to step in between you two murderous monsters. Zara goes, and these are stairs. She can't just walk up them. Or I guess the stairs go the other way. The stairs go like this. So she's just going to step over this guy and cut it at this thing. Miss. Clang. Oh, actually a 15 does hit. That's sad for you. Yeah, so she gets cut pretty bad, and the Loyalists go. So they're just both trying to cut at this lady. That's a miss, and this one can't even get in to reach it, but can't. That's fine. Halfling Slinger's up top. Those are misses that now they're taking cover. Bob Elzub.
Well,
yeah.
I suppose I'll hit the Squire.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. That's not a miss. Yeah. So you hit for an additional 5, so 18 damage, and that Squire is also bleeding to death on the ground, not dead. Right. And the Glorious Reclamation Squire is bleeding death on the ground. Continues bleeding death on the ground. So does the 6th Sword Knight, I'm pretty sure. Yup. And the Thrune Loyalists, Zara is shouting that, there's only 2 halflings left, they're yours, and basically letting her men go up. Are your men also going up?
Well, my men are the only ones inside, so yeah.
Okay, so your men go. Yeah, your men would get there first. We don't have to play it out, but they're going to slit the halflings' throats, I'm pretty sure. We'll just say that they get up there, and it's not even a fight. Like, they say, no, please, no! And it's, like, slit, and it's over. Like, they're not made to melee. And once the distance was closed, they were just murdered. What do you want to do about the 2 bleeding to death people? Zara doesn't seem to care, and they'll be dead very shortly if you do nothing.
I'm going to climb up this staircase and then jump onto their body.
Yeah, you're just gonna like power slam their corpses.
Yeah.
Okay. As you do, blood shoots out of them, as you would expect. They're very cut up, and the pressure shoots out a lot of blood, and they both expire.
Huzzah.
Huzzah! So here is what they had on their persons. Here's the treasure for them. And at the top of the sword tower, I'll move Boozlebob over here. I gotta go to the token layer. Over here, Bob Elzub, you find a statue of Imade. It's a statue of a sword, and there's a continual flame at the bottom of it. Oh, I've totally forgotten Brexter. God damn it. Yeah, you didn't need it.
He can cover the retreat.
Yeah, I was gonna have him fucking with the flame. It was gonna be fun.
I I think I told Brexter to burn it down. So.
Oh well, it's made of stone. It's going to be much harder to burn down. But he's
But
here.
he
He
has
try.
he has magic fire.
He does have magic fire, but it's still, I'm pretty sure it's still resistant. But we'll take a look. We'll run
All
out
right.
instruction later. We'll group that part. But at the top of the tower there, buddy, you find some stuff. You find... I had it and I lost it. I was searching for what the hell did these fucking Sixth Swords Knights do? Where are you, Sword Tower? You're killing me. That's the manor. There it is. Alright. So, the whole reason you came here, the whole point of your raid was to look at their healing supplies. A stone sculpture of an oversized sword stands in the middle of the roof. It glows with a continual flame at night. And you have found... A chest sits on the roof of the tower beneath the immense stone store containing all of the Glorious Reclamation's reserve healing supplies. 4 potions of cure moderate wounds, a potion of neutralize poison, a potion of remove disease, and 2 scrolls of lesser restoration. And I will put that in the chat. If you want one of the items, you can talk about it and let us know. But I guess Boozlebob has them all now, but think about if you want them.
Bob El Soup.
Bob El Soup.
Roberto.
Bird.
Yeah, so you have them until further notice. But if you want to know, if you want them, let them know. But yeah, so you've basically stolen all of their healing supplies and taken a sword tower. You want to do anything to the giant stone sword at the top?
Oh yeah, we're gonna hammer it down.
Oh yeah, you gonna hammer down that sword?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it is a stone statue. It's not magically protected or anything like that. It does take some doing, but you are fervent in your desire to knock down the sword. And yeah, so you do that. You slam it, and it collapses. So this whole fight was over in only half a minute, basically. So you stormed the tower, and within half a minute, you were in full control of it, raided the thing. And let's say you spend maybe 2 to 5 minutes knocking down the statue and then looting all the corpses. And then Zara shouts, "Alright, we gotta get out of here. This is a hit and run, we gotta go."
Alright.
Alright? If you're not objecting, then yeah, then I'm just gonna teleport you all out.
I mean, well...
Alright.
Right? He's so interested in all the plots I'm crafting for him.
Alright.
Alright?
See, the men who came inside with me are doing better than the men who stayed outside listening to Zara.
That's accurate. Are they being rewarded more handsomely?
Yes, they are.
Are they? I'm going to dump you guys back on the map of Cantaria, but I'm going to head back to the map of the Othe Market where everybody else is. So we've got 12 minutes left. That's not really enough to... Oh, maybe... Can anybody play late? If you want to do the manor real quick?
Well, it's just Jeff, so...
Can Jeff stay late?
Mm-hmm.
And does anybody want to
A
watch?
little bit. It depends on how long you think it's going to take. But
I think an extra 10 minutes might be more than enough, because
Yeah, that's
Zane's
fine.
not there, so sure.
yeah,
Then I will take Iwen and Plotty to the manor.
Are you cramping up?
My foot's cramping, sorry.
That's just his dinosaur noises. It's just what he sounds like. Let me know when this map loads for you guys.
it just loaded for me.
I'm just moving you around the map so you can get an idea of what the outside looks like.
Cool.
Alright, and let me see if I can read you some stuff. That's not the right one. Alright. So this is Narcopolis Manor, which is set to be renamed at the next town council meeting. We kind of forgot about that, but if you guys have any ideas of what you'd like to propose to rename this thing, you should let us know. This is Narcopolis Manor. It's easily Cantaria's most impressive building after Valor's Fastness, which is the big Iomedean fortress. It is the seat of the Narcopolis family, the rulers of Cantaria, and the Archdukes of Menador, which is the surrounding area, for hundreds of years. What does it look like? Does it show you anything interesting? No, you see. So you approach the building, and you don't see. There's no guards or anything like that you see. It's just an impressive manor with a big, large double door with a big lock on it, and an impressive hedge maze. It's 2 stories tall. You can't see much of the top story right now from where you are on the ground floor, but there are windows up there, so you could teleport there if you'd like to. And you've got Plotty in your backpack or on your person, whatever you're doing with them.
Yeah, and like in the backpack, yeah.
Yeah, so you're free to do what you like. What's the plan, friend?
Well, basically, she'd be looking around the perimeter, like looking in the windows and trying to find what looks like she's basically looking for his experimental, like his lab area.
All right. So you walk around the perimeter of the first floor of the house, and you don't find anything that resembles a lab. I can do some.
Does she see if she doesn't see a lab, does she see a staircase going to the second floor?
You do not see a staircase.
Okay.
Yeah, none of the windows face a staircase. I'm gonna remove some of the windows and make it so you can see inside the house more. But you do not see anything that resembles a window. You see several bathrooms and bedrooms, and on the north side is a big communal eating area or a big table. So let me just move you around one more time, like that.
Okay.
So now you can see more of it. So yes, it's on this floor. It looks like mostly bedrooms and bathrooms.
Does it, do any of the bedrooms look like a master bedroom, or do they look like they kind of got like guest beds in them?
The one you saw, I think you've only seen one bedroom actually. This one down here, the bottom left was a big bedroom. That's the only bedroom with a window in it. And there were 2 beds, definitely not a master bedroom. Something for guests or something like that, perhaps.
Okay.
Let me see. What's that one? So the room with the big table in it, it looks like a breakfast room basically. There's wide glass windows on the northern wall. Natural light fills the room. Elegantly carved chairs encircle the wide wooden table in the center of the room. To the right of that, there's a room that looks like it has a couch in it and some cabinets. And that looks like some sort of a living room. It looks like a place you would basically, sit and meet with people. And the thing in the northern side is actually a piano, not a cabinet, with a little stool in front of it.
Does she see any rooms with bookshelves in them?
Not a whole lot, but when you were north of this room here, you did see some bookshelves down here in this hallway.
Okay. So let's say that when she's up in this range, she tries to basically pop in right in front of the bookshelf.
Okay. So you're over there looking through this window, and you just want to pop in over here, basically?
Yeah, right in front of the bookshelf, yeah.
Okay, so... Yep, nothing prohibits you from popping into the bookshelf area. So this is the hall library. The walls of this hallway are lined with bookshelves. And there's lots and lots and lots of books.
So while she's now in there, she'll kind of look around very carefully. Basically, knowing that there could be magic traps or anything set up, she'll just kind of, without moving, just look and see if she sees anything. I'll do a little perception thingy.
Sure. So you look around at some of the books, and you see that most of them appear to be things about Chelish history, and other texts about summoning devils and things like that. The section you're looking at right now, it seems to be basically Chelish texts. You expect Chelish arcanists to use, but you find it odd that Zane would have them here. So you're looking around, and you do not see anything out of the ordinary. You do not see anything that is trapped to you. Nothing appears very obviously to you. But as I was saying, you would be smart enough with magic to know that it's very difficult to detect magical traps, even with your eyes. That you might want to be looking for auras. I'm not sure if you can cast detect magic, but that would be a better if he's setting magical traps as you believe him to do. Yeah. So then basically, you don't see anything weird, but as you're experimenting with things, you cast detect magic. There's definitely some sort of magic on these books, on these bookshelves. There's something is going on with these bookshelves, and I actually don't know what kind of aura it gives off. Let me see. So you sense it for a while. For the first couple of seconds, you just say, "Hey, something's fuzzy here. Something's weird. So some kind of magic here." And the second time, you get a sense of abjuration magic, which is sort of what you'd expect with a trap. That's like a triggering type effect. And you don't know exactly what it is, and you aren't able to tell exactly what would cause it. But there's something with these bookshelves that would trigger a trap. They're pretty certain.
Okay. So she'll just kind of, look without touching, and move on. What does she see any way to get up to the second floor at this point?
From where you are, no. You just see this big long hallway, and none of the rooms you've seen so far have stairs.
Okay. So she'll come over here and kind of take a mirror out of her backpack and poke it around the corner and look in the mirror to see what she sees, like in this general region.
Sure. Let's poke around the corner to see. So you see another room, kind of like a lobby. And let me see if it has a description for you. It does. The foyer. A large couch sits to one side of this entry hall. Opposite the couch, a grand stairway climbs to the second floor. So you do see here there are stairs leading upwards now.
Okay. Well, she's going to very kind of slowly and carefully, still looking around, try to make her way up the stairs.
Okay. Yep. And you don't hear anything or see anything unusual in your travels. Yep. And you want to head upstairs?
Yeah. Still like, if there's a door there or something, she'd try to detect on the door as well.
There is not a door. I'm going to cut and paste you so I don't reveal more of the map than I have to, but now you're over here.
Okay.
So you're just walking upstairs and peeking around into the corner?
Yeah, basically, like always, just taking mirrors, looking around the corner.
Sure.
Trying not to expose herself before she feels confident.
Understood. And you're still invisible this whole time, presumably, yeah? Or how long?
I don't think so, because that only lasts minutes, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it's a minute per caster level. So I guess, yeah, you just ran away, and it would probably wear off if you were walking around doing laps around the place.
Yeah.
It's fine. You can probably teleport and turn invisible again anyway. So this is the second floor landing. The grand stairway from the manor's foyer ends here, in an open area containing several glass trophy cases. The cases are empty.
Okay. So she'll sort of walk by them. Can I do another detect on the cases?
Sure. You detect no magic at all, so you wave your hand around and you say your little arcane incantation, and your eyes glow for a fraction of a second, and you just look around, and there's no auras in this room at all.
Okay. Let's see. So she'll keep walking a little bit just to kind of see the hallways. She'll peek this way first. Is that just a door?
That is just a door.
Okay. Can she do detect on the door?
The door is not magical.
And we'll just assume that she does it on all the doors. Or any of these over here?
None of the doors are magical, as far as I can tell,
Okay.
yes.
Okay. Let's push that one open.
Okay. You open that door and you find a bedroom.
A dragon.
A dragon! Find a bedroom with 4 beds in it.
Okay, so just like a guest room?
You would imagine something like that. You're not sure what Zane has been doing with the place in about the couple of month and a half that the town has been held. But you're assuming again for the nobles that ran this house, it was some sort of guest bedroom or maybe like younger siblings. You don't know the details.
Mm-hmm. So she'll shut the door behind her, and then move over to this one and pop that one open.
Okay. That one, you find a staircase that goes down, and it is smaller than the other staircase. You would imagine it is a servant's using staircase. Like servants are supposed to take this staircase instead of the main one.
Okay. So she'll shut that one even more carefully and quietly, and like start really pacing very slowly, trying to not make any sounds with her feet in that area. And we'll, with this one, like same sort of thing, but even more carefully, just very slowly try not to get it to make any sound when she pops it open.
All Alright, you pop it open, and it is a bathroom. It's a privy. It contains a commode, a sink, and a cast iron tub made by the Boozlebob family in Longacre.
Nice.
I had that plan for months, and he's dead.
All right. So she'll shut that door and pop this one open.
Sure. And you find another room. What does this one say? Does it have a special description? This is a kitchen. And this one seems to have a lot of use. Like on the previous floor, you saw a similar room that was down there, but it was all dusty and unused. This one appears as though Zane is making his own personal meals here.
Okay. So she'll come out of that one, close that door, and I guess this is another door here.
Yes, that is another door there.
And is this is like a dining room sort of area?
Yes, that appears to be a big dining room. The one downstairs was a smaller, like, breakfast nook, and this appears to be a much more, like, formal dining room, yeah.
Okay. Well, I assume I don't have to say, but she'll be detecting on all the doors, even this one.
Yeah.
So assuming it's not magical, she'll pop that one open too.
I'm pretty sure that one's not magical. I'll double check for you, but yeah, you open that and you just find a generic storage type place. It's like a closet, and you see lots of barrels and boxes. They appear to be mostly mundane stuff, like barrels of water, boxes full of foodstuffs, linens, stuff like simple tools. Nothing jumps out at you.
Does it look like they've been used recently, or that this is like a closet that people would be going in often?
No, it doesn't appear to be used fairly recently. No, it doesn't.
Okay.
You don't believe Zane has been using it.
Okay. Make her way this way. So what is this room? Because it just looks empty to me.
It does appear to be empty. What does it say? This large room is bereft of any furniture, though a large fireplace sits in the northeast corner. Make a perception check to see if you notice anything odd in there.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's good enough to see. You see on the floor there are indications that there was very expensive furniture here, but it appears to be missing.
Okay. Let's check out what's in that door.
All right. All right. Yeah, this one has a description. Where am I going? Scroll down. This is the study. So there's a couple of simple desks and a smaller bookshelf on the wall over there, and just a lot of things on the. No items. Yeah. There's a lot of textbooks in the chamber on the table, and what else? Yeah, it's mostly just books and notes and things like that.
Okay. All right. Do any of the books look like they're magical or trapped or anything?
Sure. Toss me a perception check while you're doing that too. So. Detect magic is also a cone. It's just like detect evil. You get like a 30 or 60 foot cone. So you basically just like kind of look around the room. You concentrate and just do a sweep. Yeah, so you don't see anything in the room, but let's see. There, in the corner of the room, there is a statue that looks like a devil. You can make me a knowledge check to see if you know what kind of devil. You do not know what kind of devil. You're sure it's a fairly powerful devil. It has like a very long beard, but you have no idea. You're not certain what kind of devil that is. But yeah, so you see it in the corner, and it is very, very magical. Let's see. Is anything else magical in the room? Those books are not magical. One of the books is magical. All of the majority of them are not, but a single book is magical.
Okay. So the books that are the non-magical books, is there any significance? Like, are they on a specific topic? Do they look like it's just his notes? Like, what are they? What's the kind of theme of them?
Devil binding. and binding spells, and how to foil them, presumably based on his notes.
Okay. All right. So I think Iwin is not. So she's gonna get out of that room. And has basically decided. Have I looked at everything? Oh no, there's still another room I haven't looked at.
And that statue of the devil, by the way, is a foot tall, so it is large and it is heavy.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're right to leave it, but it is there. And
Yeah.
It's very magical.
Yep. Okay, so she'll pop this door open.
Are you taking the magical book, or did you leave the magical book?
No, she left all the books.
Okay. And this is a bedroom, and this looks like a master bedroom, like you were looking for. It has very fine linens, but otherwise looks like a normal bedroom. You don't like it's not like super ornate or fancy, but it has very nice linens.
Okay. Any books or anything in it?
Yeah, there's a bookshelf on the wall over there. There's no desk or anything, but there is a bookshelf across from the bed. And unlike all the other books you've seen in the place, on the first floor there were a lot of Chilaxian and devil-themed books, and in the study there were things about binding devils specifically. But in this room, it's all like sanctified Iomedean good type literature, stuff about angels and things that are things that are on loan from a Church of Iomede or a holy text from the Historicum that have been given to Zane.
Okay. So far, Iwan hasn't come across any books that would be like, or scrolls or anything. Basically, stuff that he would have been studying to sort of learn magic type stuff.
You haven't found any scrolls, no. If you're looking for stuff like that, you haven't found anything scrolls lying around like that, no.
Okay. So she'll go and look in this door.
That's a bathroom. Just like that.
Okay.
And there's a chest in this room. Yeah, in the room you're not the bathroom, but the one you were just in. In Zane's bedroom is like a footlocker near the bed, and it is unlocked and easily opens. And you found all of the Hell Knight's armor is there. All of her equipment is there, and nothing else in the, there's not a lot of magical items there, but just a couple of all of her armor, all of her items, and that's it. Yeah, nothing else is magical, huh?
Okay. That's pretty tempting. All right, so I want to walk over to the chest with the stuff in it, and how heavy is the armor? Could she put it in her bag and hold it, or is it too heavy for her to do that?
Zara was wearing, what kind of armor does she have? Plate armor, so probably too heavy for a gnome is the answer. I could do the math,
Okay.
but it's probably very heavy. Additionally, there's like a masterwork longsword, there's a heavy crossbow, there is a weird item I'm not sure Iwan's ever seen before. Why don't you make a knowledge check to see if you know what this is? You do. There is a tiny silver cube, which is called an arrow magnet. So basically, you throw it at the ground, and it hovers above the ground and just sucks up arrows, and eventually is destroyed. Like it like temporarily absorbs arrow attacks for you if you throw it on the ground. It's called an arrow magnet. This is all of Zara's gear. Arrow magnet, a potion of dark vision, Hell Knight plate, +1 heavy steel shield, and masterwork weapons. So all of that stuff is there, but nothing else, nothing too powerful or too magical.
Okay. So is this another door here?
It is, and it is a door to more storage. They put a lot of empty space in this place.
Okay, so just empty storage?
Yeah, empty storage, just like linens and stuff like that. You've explored the entirety of the house, pretty much.
All right, so she'll go over to his bed and look underneath. Are there any boxes or crates or anything that looks like storage under there?
Nope, nothing under his bed.
Okay. So she'll close all the doors and make sure it doesn't look like anybody's been in there and come back out.
Okay.
Is this the only other area I haven't explored yet?
Yeah, I'll just pop you in over there real quick. That's more storage.
Okay.
You didn't go down the stairs. On the first level, there's one room you didn't see. Like, basically underneath the master bedroom, there's another room that you haven't seen yet.
Okay. So basically, she hasn't seen any books that... Because what I was going to have her do if she found an appropriate book was, like, try to find some area where you'd be studying about different poisons or something and highlight stuff, but there's no books that she would think she could do that to.
There is no books with poison specifically, but there are loads of books about summoning devils. And if the angle you were trying to work is that he has been corrupted by these items and now he's working with hell, those sort of texts, you know, that they could be used to corroborate that kind of a story.
Okay. And those were the one in like this room here.
Yeah, in his study there were a bunch of texts like that, and also on the walls of the one downstairs where you
the trap.
Yeah, where you
potentially
detect the
trapped
trap.
one.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So she'll, let's say she comes back in here and grabs one of the books that she doesn't think is a magical book.
Mm-hmm.
That would have some of that, and basically, you know, I'm assuming, given how much she's read, she'd be fairly familiar with the book. So she'll go and she'll find some key things that are like, you know, talking about like devils leading rebellions and like, you know, how to summon more things like you said that would kind of make it seem like sabotage.
Yep.
And you know, like highlight key phrases and stuff like that, like write, you know, fake notes and stuff, and come back over to this storage area, and basically in like one of the crates, kind of in the back corner, plant both the urn top and the and like that book that she put in there.
All right, that's fantastic. All right, I think that's a good place to end the session. Anything else you guys want to do before we wrap up?
No, he doesn't have much loot.
He's holding most of his loot, yes. Yeah, I was also looking at that. There's not a whole lot to find in his place. Well, she didn't take the magic book.
Right.
And she didn't roll very well on perception checks throughout the house, to be fair. But
yeah.
Yeah. And then the magic book was probably the best item in the house, though, I think. You'll get it. You'll kill them all and take it all the items. It's fine.
Yeah. He'll hopefully he'll be dispatched soon enough.
Right? Yeah.
She's playing the long game. Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, you're not stealing. You're not making it look like you were here. You're playing the long game. You're framing him for horrible things.
I was thinking that the loot would have to be, if there was like horrific loot here, it'd be like, dude, you have to steal it. It's, you know, but there's nothing that's like, yeah you must steal that.
Yeah, I agree. Nothing here is that important. Because if it was, then yeah, this would be the ultimate mission. But yeah, you guys, and you learned a great deal about all this stuff and the kind of stuff he's been studying. And he's not doing such a good job of making himself look like he wasn't studying this stuff before anyway. Like he's reading all the books he shouldn't be reading anyway. Anything else before we wrap up? Yeah.
No, I think basically after that she'll just like pop back out, quickly find a spot like outside of the manor, you know, fairly far off but not too far, where she'll take out her book and start like jotting notes about all the stuff that she saw, maybe even drawing a little map of the room and kind of like making notes about where different things were and what she saw, and then we'll, you know, sort of slowly make her way, I guess, maybe back to the Uskwood.
Sure.
Inn.
Okay. And I guess we'll just pick up next time after. Well, everybody gets will be either meeting at the Uskwood or meeting with people in town because chaos is still happening, I guess, suppose. But yeah, thanks for playing, everybody.
Yeah.
All right.
Good game, boys. When do we play again?